All right, we live. The Elite Podcast. We live. Pang, Mountain, what good? My brothers, talk to me.
There, what's going on? How are you?
Mountain in the building.
Yeah.
What
Mountain
good,
make,
Bomba Mountain?
we safe, man. We safe. You know, it's good to have Mountain on. You know, like we were just talking. I ain't see this man in like 20 years. You know, so it's good to see my brother, man. You know,
It's been a minute.
so
Last time I see Mama was telling me, high school is yours now, man. Because I've been a junior, you've been a senior, done graduating All-Star game. But me and my last year in St. Croix, so it would have been mine.
That's true, man. That's true. Bless up, Alec. Bless up. Yeah, man. So, let me go ahead and get the shout outs real quick, Pang.
Go ahead.
Mountain, we do these shout outs. So, legends340.com. Go out and support legends340.com. We got Savory Eats LLC in Orlando by Sheena Fontaine. Anytime she have food sale, go out and support. We have the Good Life Apparel. We have Andrea with the Melting Pot Cooking Class. Follow on Instagram, Melting Pot Cooking Class. Also, meltingpotcookingclass.com as well. Go out and support. Go out and follow. Check it out. We have Sebon Caribbean Restaurant, Metro McIntosh. Go out and support. We have Apollo Legion. Follow on Instagram, Island Destiny 340 Serenity Braids by Nikki. We have Rico Canario. We have Right Way Service Station located in Princess next to Avis. We have Paris Enterprise. Also follow Livewire Sports on Facebook. They always live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Livewire Sports. We have Midnight Entertainment, Frenchie Big Up. And also the Elite Podcast. Also streaming live on YouTube and under the channel name VI Legends. Also streaming on Facebook at the Elite Podcast. The page, not the group. The page. The group, we just send out the announcements and we put a bunch of historical pictures and stuff in the group. So big up to all the VI people them doing their thing, having their own business and stuff like that. You guys will see it on the sport and on the ticker and the live, so go out and support your own and everything. So Pang, last episode we had
Genix.
The great.
It was all about Genix. We had Rasan and Pastor. I forget.
Pastor Barnes.
That quick. Mona. On the line with us sharing the takes on Genix. It just, as you could see, the impact that Genix had from all of the viewers and the comments and the praises and what everybody were leaving from here. I never had a chance to meet him, but from the sound of it seems like he touched a lot of players, baseball and softball players in the island, in St. Croix, and maybe even St. Thomas. I ain't sure, but it just show his testament from all the viewers that was logging in. It just show his testament of his dedication to the youth stem. It paid off.
Yeah, it's true, man. It does the impact, like you said, Pam. You said it very well. I'm gonna just echo what you said. Just the impact he had, on everybody. So big up to Genix, and all he have done, for the culture and for sports, softball and baseball for the young men and the young women and stuff like that. And like he said, when it's his time, he'll try and come on with Mona as well. So we might have him again. So big up to Genix. Big up to all the Little League coaches, East, West, Central, Machuchal, everybody. Gus Bell, big up to Gus Bell. Big up to Vincent, he used to coach the Caribs. Big up Rookie as well with the Dodgers. Big up Angels coach. I'm forgetting his name. I'm drawing blank. But just big up all the Little League coaches. Rest in peace to Elmo. He used to coach the Chewies. So big up all the Little League coaches. So episode 16, we have the great coach Raymond Lockhart. So, Pang, you familiar with Raymond Lockhart? He coached your brother. I just heard about the legendary coach. Mountain, you played for him as well too. So you guys kind of touch on, the impact he have had. you know, on both of you guys.
I gonna go first, Mountain. Since you play with he, you might need a little longer time to touch base. But I miss playing or playing for Lockhart by a year. He left St. Croix the year before I went to Central. So I didn't get a chance to play with him, but I I saw how his coaching style, because like on the weekend, I used to go up to Central whenever my brother got practice, and I used to watch them practice. I used to go to all the weekend games, and I saw his coaching style and his disciplinary. The team, although Tyrone used to stand out over everybody, the team really ain't had like a main superstar, because he treated everybody like they all was superstars. So they had a squad. They could have started two, maybe even three different teams if they had 15 players, honestly. And that's based off of how he used to run his show. So he is definitely one of Virgin Islands' best coach to ever, if not the best coach to come on the scene. And it was just good to catch a little glimpse of he before he left St. Croix.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, Punk said, arguably one of the best coaches that come out to the VI. Like, it's so many stories I could tell with Lockhart. So many stories, but I can tell you, Lockhart is one thing, and then Coach Lockhart is our next person. It's split personalities. I know. When I first moved to Florida, of course, just the welcoming, just how they welcome me in the family. Him, Miss Lockhart, rest in peace, my second mother. But just the effect that they had on me in my life, are just being there for me as like second parents. That was big to me. Coming in my senior year last year in high school, like they really grew me into a man. Away from basketball. Basketball was of course something important in my life, and of course important for Lockhart too. That's he was a great coach, but they made sure like they taught me how to be a man first before even we talk about basketball. And then on the court, man, and talk about intensity. I know I could speak for everybody that play for Lockhart. First of all, it's just not you're just not a player. Your family, that's first. But just the intensity, I know one thing everybody who play for Lockhart know, if you shoot a jump shot with your foot on the 3-point line, oh my God, it's a done deal. You don't have to run. And if you shoot that jump shot with your foot on the 3-point line, because that's a long 2-pointer. That used to be that probably was one of his biggest pet peeves, is just shooting a shot right in front of the 3-point line. You gotta take one step back and shoot the same shot and get 3 points for the same shot. You might make a shot and get 2 points for, but it's plenty of stories I can tell. I know of course he was a legend in St. Croix, in Florida at MacArthur High School. He reshaped that school. My senior year, of course, we had big plans, we had big dreams, and then third game of the season, I break my wrist. I could probably still see, kind of still crooked, but break my wrist and I dunk, and my season had kind of got messed up there, from that point. But at the end of the day, we still finished strong. Still respect everything that he did for me, man.
All right, man.
Well said, man. Well said, Monty. You're professional, man. You're professional. Well said, man. Well said. So, Pang, Martin, why don't you guys do the honors and introduce this legendary coach? I'm excited. I can't wait.
I'll let you do the honors, Monty.
We're gonna introduce, coming to the stage, one of the best coaches out of the VI, Mr. Intensity when it comes to coaching, Raymond Lockhart. Were you there?
Welcome.
Thank you guys for the invite and that big intro that you guys gave me. I hope I could live up. Well, I lived up to some of what was said by you guys, man.
Man, for sure, man.
Yeah, man.
You have a lot behind what these guys were saying, though. You had a lot behind. They gave some of it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get 3 points. I get 3 points. I don't get 2.5 points. I ain't got
Yes. So Lockhart.
Yes, sir.
So I was just gonna say, your name has been brought up so many times on the podcast, and so many people have requested for us to have you. Shout out to Kareem Smith. He made this all happen. So big up to Kareem. Big up to Kareem Smith with all the pictures as well too. So, and also Rasan Smith as well.
My nephews, yes.
Yes. So Pang, go ahead. I know you was gonna say something.
No. It was just good. And basically, Mumba started this podcast to just, we have had so much legendary people come through the Virgin Islands in sports, specifically basketball, because that's what we played. But you know, we're gonna touch some other sports. But as Mumba said, we had a few guests that played for you and played under your tutelage, and everybody had high praise for you, and by far you was their best coach. Even in the different era that they played, each player, they all stated you as their best coach ever, from Mountain one era, Tyrone one era, and Zorro and not Zorro. Did Dean Harewood play for you? I think
Haywood.
Dean Harewood play for you, right?
Yes.
Yes, Haywood.
And that's three different eras, and all each era state that you was their best coach by far.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yes.
testament to you and the way how your coaching abilities came across.
Appreciate
Pong,
that.
you talking about the players in different generations. You think about those same players playing different levels of basketball too. We think about high school, college, professional. Like Lockhart still found a way to get the best out of you, and I think
Right.
that's a key that's a key skill that coaches have to have right now. You have to have the ability to get the best out of your players.
That is
Right.
true.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
I
That's true.
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yes. So Lockhart,
Yes. Talk to me. What do you want me to talk to me?
we want to know how it all started.
All right. Let's go back way back before you guys was even a thought. That's how way back we're going. I grew up in Frederickstead, born in Frederickstead, grew up in Frederickstead, grew up in Harrigan Court. Played in Harrigan Court with all those guys. And then we moved to Concordia, Campo Rico. Then from there, went to Tuskegee University and came back. But let's go back a little further before all of that. I used to play in all the leagues, the Pedo League, them and the leagues. We used to, me and rest in peace, Ralph James used to get in a van and go to Christiansted and any place that have a league, we used to go play. All the guys from West. And even back then, while I was in high school, I used to coach. I was player coach in seven different teams, Budgrass and them kind of team. And when I went the first year in college, I used to work. I got a job at the recreation, and I used to give me the opportunity to. I used to drive. I had my license, so I drive the truck, pick up guys in Grove Place to bring them to West to play. You're talking about my head going bad now. All these guys from Grove that everybody here, like Ronald Charles, Ranchette, Dingo, Eves, Abraham, all them guys, I used to bring them back and forth to play. And I used to coach in the league also. And then again, we had team in Pedo League. So I coached those teams too. So I was coaching a long time. But when Danny Cornelius was my coach in high school. That was my first year playing. Well, I should say my first and my last year playing ball in high school. And Danny, I think, was my inspiration because way back then, my grandmother told me I'm going to college. From the time I know myself, Octavia Barnes, and she told me, you're going to be something. Okay, I don't know what something is, but she told me I'm going to be something. And I had fortunate to have my mother, Gwendolyn Lee Hodge, and my stepdad, Alfredo Hodge, who was major impact in my life, made me the man I am. And my father is Raymond Lockhart. Well, he was, blessed in peace, Raymond Jim Lockhart. He was also into sports, but his sport was horse racing. And when Danny came to play, I saw a different type of ball when I was playing for him than what we used to. The first time I saw Danny Cornelius, he came not MacArthur. I'm getting the two mixed up, Akeem, in Harrigan Court. And he brought this guy, a friend of his, a big white guy. And he was, I don't know, he was probably about 6'7". And he was shooting three-pointers. He was shooting three-pointers, and Danny was dunking everything on us. And we're like, wow. Because usually at that time, if you're a big man, you get your back to the basket, and that's it. You get a rebound and pass it to us, and we take it up. Very rarely you had them guys doing all that stuff. And when he came, and then you go back and play a zone. Very rarely did we play man-to-man and all that good stuff. So when Danny came on board, he practiced, run plays, and I like, wow, this is a different story here. So we started doing that, and he influenced me a lot into doing that. The reason I went to Tuskegee was Mr. Hicks. He was my agriculture teacher, and he kind of guided me into that direction. But when I got there, I knew I wanted to be a coach, and the best avenue or the best way to get there, I decided to take phys ed. I wasn't going to be an architect or engineer anymore, and that's how we get started. I did track and field and all that good stuff. I was throwing a javelin in college. I was small. I'm a small guy, but I was in the pit throwing a javelin. You know what's a javelin?
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
guys know
yeah,
what's a javelin?
yeah.
yeah.
All right,
That's
in deep Alabama, I was throwing a javelin for the college team, and when they needed some points, I also threw the shot put. Watch how small I be. I shot put. So when I go in the pit, when I go in the pit, I used to be the smallest person there, because most of those guys who were doing those type of things was football players, them big husky
right.
guys, but I was daring. I didn't give the word, and I used to first time I did a triple jump. I know what the hell it was triple jump here. I did triple jump. I did hurdles, anything to help the team. But that was all of the formative years. That started getting me to where I eventually became what I wanted to do. And then I came back after I graduated. I came back, and there was an opening at my alma mater, Central High School. Danny Cornelius was still the head coach, and he told me, we all good. I was his captain in the high school team, so he brought me on as his assistant. And Dennis Bro and Ranchett and all those guys, Eve Abraham, and all those guys was on his team. But we had the second year, and of course we won. The second year though, we had so much talent that Danny was the one brought it up. He said, you know what? We need to have two teams. And he told the Interscholastic at the time to make it more competition for us to play more games on the island. We can provide two teams separately from Central High, and they went along with it. And it was the first team. So Danny got his pick. He picked all his players. I hate to say this. I hope he's looking. I told him about this. He picked all his team, his players, and then I got I'm gonna call them leftovers. I got the other guys,
Mhm.
which was guys like Craig Shaky Williams, Vito Ventura, Timin John Finn, a guy named Fitzroy Brow, which we're going to speak about a little bit too, Fifi. He never played any ball before, but he was 6'11", so you cannot play no ball before we're going to play. And a lot of players like that. We got the other guys, and it just so happened that we beat Central High that year. So we they call us future stars, and we won. And then the year after that, Danny said, "Man, you did such a good job. You take over the big team." I said, "Wow," he said. So he gave me the big team to work with, and he became my assistant. I didn't want to do that, but he said he's the one that did that. He became my assistant coach, and we went on from there. They had a lot of people in during my years, like Akeem just said. I covered a lot of grounds. I mean, sometimes I don't get mixed up between the kids who played for me at MacArthur High School in Florida and who played for me in St. Croix. They all jump up. I used to ask what's kids, and and we went ahead and decided after a while it wasn't competitive enough for me. And I told Danny and those guys, we need to get out. We need to get out of St. Croix and look for more competition. Because it wasn't that enough. So what we did is we started reaching out to people. We started going to St. Thomas a little more often, playing Charles Amari, Eudora Ken. Got very close with those guys, and we go back and forth. Then we went to Raymond Milligan, who is also another person who most of you guys probably don't know. His name is Raymond Milligan. They'll call him Lang. He was 6'10". He's one of the Puerto Rico's first big men. He is he played 20 years in the Superior League. Like I said, he was one of the first big men. And then he decided he was working for recreation department, and he contacted me and he said, "You don't want to bring a team down here?" I said, "Well, that is what we're looking for." And it just everything coincided at the same time. So he started inviting me over there to tournaments, and we would go, we raise funds, because of course, at the point, the education, the people to be didn't back like some of you guys have mentioned before, you didn't have the backing like that you needed. So a lot of people in the community dig in, and we went to Puerto Rico at first. I mean, some of the things I can tell you about, we play like 7 games in a weekend. I heard you guys play sometime 2, 3 games. We've played 4 games in a day. You played out when you see
Wow.
that you're winning, they put you outside to play. And we went over and we won a couple of tournaments. Bayamon Military Academy, we had some big name players that went to the States and played for big universities. And eventually, and we were winning. So, and then after that, we said, hey, let's go a little farther. So we started going to the States. And when we got up there, we went to Auburn, Alabama, of course, Atlanta, Georgia, Kissimmee, Florida. And then what happened is people start hearing. And believe it or not, because the key is exposure. You were looking for exposure anyhow, more
Right.
competition for these guys. And teams from the States, of course, they want to come here anyway. They start contacting us. And we got a championship team. We won the state title. And one of our gifts that we're giving the players is a trip to the Virgin Islands. We'd like to play some games down there. And of course, we're going to jump on that. Yes, more exposure. And then we start bringing teams here. And we had some very, very good teams. People don't realize the teams that we were bringing here, because some people, they just look at the game. They don't look at the stuff behind the scene.
Right.
Oak Hill
Yeah.
Academy. That's perennially one of the top high schools in the whole of the United States. They came here to play. As a matter of fact, when
Oh
they came
wow.
here to play, they played with the same Fitzroy Brow, Fifi, who was one of my players. But at that time, we only can play until you're 19 years and I think 9 years. 19 years and 9 months. No, 19 years and 6 months. I can't remember which one it is. And he couldn't play for me that year. So we got him to go to Oak Hill, and he played for Oak Hill Academy. And the next year, he was just had played for me the previous day. He could not play for me, but he came back with Oak Hill to play against us. Understand that? If you guys understand where I'm coming from, he played
Right.
us. So we had Oak Hill here, and another one of my, well, I'll always say one of the best players. I got to say what I know, because I don't know all of you guys. You guys came after me. He went to Oak Hill, I think twice, and he keep coming back home, but he went twice. So, Zorro.
Yeah.
And people don't know they Zorro, and I'm gonna tell you some stories behind Zorro. I'm chopping up because I'm trying to remember things as we go along.
Oh yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go back and forth if you guys don't mind.
No.
Yeah, that's fine.
Zorro, you guys know Ron Strickland? He too far back for you guys.
No,
No,
we know
yeah,
Rock
we know
Strickland.
we know Strat Chicken.
All right. If you guys look into Oak Hill Academy, you'll hear some very, 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 very famous names went to Oak Hill Academy. Ron Strickland was one of them, and Zorro could have played in front of Ron Strickland. The coach used to call me all the time, so I knew what was going on, because he wanted more players from here. And Zorro, anytime I had well, let me go back. You guys know, like I said, after this exposure started happening here, guys from the States, I'm talking about, they wouldn't send their head coach, but they'll send their assistant coach or a representative, and they'll contact me or contact us, and we will provide scrimmage. Because remember now, for you guys know, you can't go and recruit certain times. Well, hey, this is the Virgin Islands, so they're going with their wives for a vacation.
Yeah.
So they'll come and they'll meet at Central High Gym. And I remember specifically some couple times, more than one of these Division I school head coach or assistant coaches would meet up, and they're like, oh, what did we do here? But they know what it was about. You're going to tell me, I ain't going to tell you, all is well. And they say, get some guys to come play because I want to see X and X play. And the first person I'll call is Keith Swanson, Zorro. And do you know, I don't think there was 1 year that these coaches came down. They'll come to watch, let's say, Tim Duncan, because it was most of the time, more than one of the time was because of him. And the first thing, who's that kid? The kid is skinny kid. I see you talking about Zorro. Everybody knew Zorro. And he would be the first one to see on the court called talent, no talent. When you look at talent, you got to know. I don't care
That's
who
true.
they tell you to look at, you're going to see that. And Zorro would be the first one they pick out and out of the scrimmage. And this happened many, many, many years. Even after he was out of high school age, out of college age bracket, all of that stuff. He already went to Argentina, where somewhere down South America to play and all that good stuff, and came back home because he didn't stay. Zorro's another story. And but they would pick him first.
Wow.
And my style of you asked earlier about my style of thing. I believe that our kids are not they're not obviously the exposure isn't there, and I found that out more. I knew that then, but I found it out even more when I went to when I moved to the States and I went to MacArthur High School, because these guys was asking me, Coach, when are you gonna make my highlight tapes? What the hell are you talking about, man? When you gonna make my highlight tapes? They were coming to me with this, and I wasn't ready for that. We never used to do that. We'd film the game, and I'll send you a tape of the game if they ask me for it. The coaches asked me for that when I was here. But as far as highlight tapes, we didn't have that. And the other thing that I had to get used to, which we don't have here, is AAU games. These guys play, I mean, all year long, AAU, AAU. So what I compliment those guys who couldn't afford to go the AAU route. Just like I did here, I will open up the gym on Saturdays, and Tyrone could tell you, we used to have a lot of guys come in there and we would work them out, just like I worked those guys out here. Pine could tell you, I used to open up the gym in the summers, and that's how it started first. And then I eventually had a camp, a summer camp, had like 200-300 kids sometimes, and we would have the kids come in. We do drills, play all you want in the morning, but afternoon time, the bigger guys have to hit the weights. That's the next thing we never used to do around here a lot. Around my time, they never used to hit the weights, and that's big time that's big in the States. You have to hit the weight room, and I made them. Besides the drills, they had to do drills and lift weight before they can play. That's the only way I could get them to do it. They wanted to play basketball, you're gonna have to lift weight, and you're gonna have to do drills.
Yeah.
So I got all those guys to come in there and do it. And those guys who played for me, they know it was a must. It wasn't written in stone, but you know you better come there, because come tryouts time, you better be in shape. And that's how it started. You better be in shape.
Do
Basically.
do you remember me at any of your summer camps then?
Yeah, this little guy
Okay.
coming up there with cheese. Yeah, man.
Okay.
See, you guys don't realize. After I left here, my ear was still back here.
Right.
Rest in peace. Alvan Jarvis was my assistant coach, and you guys know him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was Tegan's coach, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I used to keep telling me about him. He used to tell me about you. Used to tell me, Shaky Craig Williams, my assistant coach. He played for me also. By the way, Jarvis and Shaky played for me.
Oh wow.
Well as Dean, yes. And they will tell me about who's going on, who's who, and who's doing what. So I know about you guys. And then Mumba came along later, and I started hearing more about baseball from him, about him, because I had Kareem and Rasan still in the mix, and they will tell me what's going on. But I used to know what's going on pretty much, who's winning what, who's the big star, who's what, and who's what. So I know about you guys all back then, you know.
Yeah, Jarvis was there when I got to Central, but I was a little hot. I wouldn't say I was a hothead. School wasn't my biggest thing. So once I get to Central, I never used to go class, or I couldn't play on the team, and tryouts and everything was one story. I made the team, but I wasn't eligible to play. I didn't get eligible to play until we went to a trip in Puerto Rico. But I still didn't play. I still didn't play because this was the last tournament of the year. And then matter of fact, I wasn't eligible. I ended up going on the trip because Bo had a separate tournament going on in Puerto Rico that I was able to go to. I can't remember where we played, but it was real rough.
Yeah, but I forget to mention that was an exposure for those guys, because they play international rules in Puerto Rico, and when we play here in the regular U.S. High school rules, and we go to Puerto Rico, it was a big adjustment to make. But then once we get into it, our guys custom play open league, or not open league. They used to play in the leagues around here, which was pretty rough. So once you could these referees letting us go at it. Yeah, okay, you could dunk it like warm-ups. I mean, I had one time we went over there, and if the opposing team stopped, they warm up to watch our guys. These guys were just pouring it on, man. Sat up, dunking the ball left, right, north, south, back. Because, my guys, they could have leaped. You ain't no doubt about it. You have to work those legs. They could have leaped. Definitely. But, Pang, I mean, yeah, you said something that I spoke to Mumba earlier. You you talk about your not I ain't gonna say your shortcomings in the school aspect,
Right.
and that moved me a lot because you took you said you never like class. They also say you never used to go a lot to you miss a lot of practice, which that wouldn't happen with me. You said you didn't go to a lot of practice and all that good stuff. I'm sorry I wasn't there to guide you along the way, but I don't hear a lot of kids they do stuff that they're not supposed to do, and they don't want to own up to it. They just said it's his fault, her fault. They blame everyone else except themselves. And when I told him, I remember this morning, I said I was very pleased to hear you said it was on me.
Right.
If it wasn't
Yeah.
for a few people who pulled me and
Yeah.
pulled me and pulled me along, I wouldn't get to be what I am today. And I was glad to see you own up to, because we have a lot of our kids don't want to own up to what they do wrong. You got to go to class. Yeah, I remember a kid. I don't know if I should call his name, but he was my best player, and we were going to Orlando. Was it Orlando? Yes, it was Orlando to play, and Haines City. And he was my best player, my biggest player. And just before we were getting ready to go, grades came out, and his grade wasn't there. I could have do it, but I wasn't gonna help him by doing it. So we went
Right.
to Orlando. We played Haines City. I remember that day because when we travel, like we spend all this money, we want to play. I don't care who we play. We could go put an NBA team in front of us. We're gonna go play.
Yeah.
So the guy from Kissimmee High School, set up a game with us about an hour from Kissimmee, which was Haines City.
Yeah.
We
He
went
see.
to this high school. We got a van and we drove over to this high school, and it was the end of the school day. They make sure they set it up for the whole student body to come. Oh my God. It was exciting. It was a full gym. We won the game 75-72. But this was the kicker. We had to drive back to Kissimmee now after this game, probably before, driving off. It was 3 o'clock. So we probably before 30, you're starting driving back in traffic in Orlando area from Haines City. It's an hour drive. And we got to play 8 o'clock the night with the host team, which was Kissimmee, who also had a former player from St. Croix.
What?
They played for us. You guys probably know all of that. I don't know. But they made us play that same night, right after the game. We lost that game. His name was Justin Thompson, anyhow. Not the guy who didn't go with me. The guy who I might call the name. They know who they are. Leon Trimingham, weapon, and he became big time after that. He didn't go on the trip because of grades. And the other guys were Justin Thompson, who moved from here and he went to Kissimmee, and that we played against him. He was a star player on the team. And we lost that game about 2 or 3 points. But it took your leg from you to play 3 o'clock in the afternoon, drive, and go play 8 o'clock the night again in front of a top gym. But I didn't care. We went to that same trip. We went to no, that's not the one. It was another trip. We went to play in Auburn, Alabama, to play another kid from here. This kid went to St. Joseph High School. He was 6'7". Yeah, he was 6'7". And because of that, the school heard about us and he invited us. We went to play. I think they beat us too. I don't even remember. And then we went to the same trip. We drove to Atlanta. I told we play a lot of games when we go, and we went to one of the top high schools in Atlanta. They beat us too. But the experience that we got was tremendous. You can't pay for that. You can't pay for
Right.
that. But go back
It's true.
to Pang again. Grades, you said it already. Grades, school, grades. If you don't
Right.
have that, we're not going to go any place. And I knew that because our kids have the talent. And if you could give them some discipline and work habit, work ethics, and know that they have grades go along with it, then they're good to go. Because it's tough to go up there. It's tough because
Right.
you fighting for a position on a team. Here, I used to have 50, 60 guys trying out for Central Dream Team. Up there, I used to have maybe
Jeez.
35, 40, sometimes more than 60 players.
Wow.
So you had to have some place to. Somebody got to be the bad guy because everybody played in the little backyard, and the mother thought, "Oh my God, Johnny could play so good. Look, he just made a shot. You only take 20 of them to make the one shot, And then you come to Central High School, and we got 70 guys with the same mentality. They want to play. 60 guys they want to play, but they've been playing, and like I told you, I had them in the summertime. They've been doing all this stuff, so they had an edge. They had an edge, and if you going here to the States and don't have some type of discipline or drive, you're way behind the 8 ball, man. You're way behind the 8 ball, and it's gonna be very, very difficult for you because you got a lot of guys for the same spot you were trying to, and you come up there with an accent first of all, you know, you're there behind the 8 ball, and you guys should know what I'm talking about.
That's true.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's true. So, so your coaching style, you know, a lot of the former players that we had, you know, like Sunil, Tyro Alec, you know, Haywood, we have Zoro. They talk about your conditioning.
Oh yeah, I believe in that.
Yeah. So, quite a couple years ago, I read John Wooden book, and he was big on conditioning.
Mhm.
So, was he? Did you take some of his you know, philosophies as coaching, or did you just came up with your own?
I not at that time. I conditioning. Cornelius used to make us condition. Ain't no doubt about that. But if you watch some of the other coaches, they'll practice an hour. No, not just practice, run up and down the court. And at that time when I was coaching, that's why I see a lot of the other coaches around the islands doing. And I'm gonna go to St. Thomas too. And just is that they used to just run ball. And I said, nah, we need to if we want our kids to move farther than that, they gotta do much more than that. They gotta more than that. So I said, one thing they can't take away from you is conditioning. So let's start with that. And then once we could do that, the next thing is let's attack the other team, because a lot of people don't work on what? Basic fundamental
Fundamentals.
basketball.
Right.
So that's where my philosophy came from, conditioning. And if you put it together with attacking the other team's weaknesses, which was basic fundamental basketball, it became a press. You press them to depth. I know a lot of teams didn't like it, but I guarantee you, and like I said, I wasn't a well-liked guy at the time when I was here, because I will beat you by 100 points and didn't think twice about it. I'm sorry to say. I didn't like, and be honest with you, I didn't like playing the junior high schools. I didn't like that at all, but I had no say in that because it was the Virgin Islands and the basketball federation, the interscholastic agreed to that. I never agreed to that. But I after I start telling you, okay, if you don't want to get beat badly, condition your guys, practice your guys. Don't just go in there. You're doing them a disservice by just putting them in there, throw a ball out and tell them run ball.
Right.
And then these teams started to practice. A lot of the private schools, after I left, at least I heard a couple of times that some of them even beat Central High School, which I didn't like to hear. But they start getting guys, they start giving out scholarship to people. And I don't have any problem with that. They start giving out scholarships to guys in the community to make the team better. And they brought coaches in. That's going, not broad coach, the coaches. I'm just saying the coaches. The coaches started working with the players. And I think personally, I ain't bragging, but I had something to do with that, because nobody wants to get embarrassed.
Right.
That's
Nobody.
true. That's true.
And we started to beat St. Thomas because of the same thing. And regularly, I mean regularly, we used to beat St. Thomas like it was nothing. And before that, St. Thomas used to beat us like it was nothing. But
Yeah,
so that's where my coaching philosophy came from. You gotta work.
That's true. That's true.
Watching Ayu play, around that time when my brother was on the team, Ayu was there was nobody in sight that was on Ayu League. Like everybody was game blow. Mountain probably was one of the first to get recruited to go St. Joseph to come back and beat up on Central.
Yeah, I know. And he came to play for me. And he came to play with me.
Don't forget Mumba Gato. Don't forget.
I know about that.
No.
Barras Gato.
One game, only one game they ever beat us. Just one. Just one.
That game was sweet though, Mumba. I still remember that game. It was sweet. It was a sweet win.
Yeah, sweet win. Good game. It was a big win. It was a big win.
But go ahead.
No, I was going to say I liked when Complex came around and the players were split, because Central definitely had a lot of talent.
Yeah.
We had a few players on our team in Complex. Al was in Central at the time before Complex opened, so you could imagine they had the potential to be on Central team. Like what type of team Central would have had?
Would have had, yes.
Yeah, it just. Right. I was kind of glad when Complex opened up.
And I was glad to hear that too, because the competition makes you better. You no
Right.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
And I knew, I ain't stupid. I knew that at that time, most of the talent was going to come to Central High, but what you going to do with it? And I figure I need to do a little bit more than the normal to get the most I can get out of them. And that's what I did. I had good help with me. I had Danny Cornelius, Alvan Jarvis, Craig Williams, excuse me, Peter Miller. He used to help us raise funds to travel. You know, you had all these guys come out and give a hand. And then when I was fortunate when I went to MacArthur, I had Raymond Milligan again. He moved up from Puerto Rico. He decided to come from Puerto Rico and move in to Florida. He stayed and he worked at the school. I got him to work at the school I was working at, and he became one of my assistants. And then Tyrone came up and he became my assistant. Those guys will come from all over. Once Tyrone came there, all those guys like G and Sammy and you name them, they used to all come to give a help. And then Saturdays, because we used to practice Saturday too. I never changed that. You're gonna practice on Saturdays,
Right.
and you sometimes you gotta say it wasn't just one person. You give thanks to all the people and recognize the people that help you get to the point that the success that you had. Because I know for a fact that we without these guys' help, you know, the hours that we put in, I couldn't do it myself. No doubt about that. So I'd definitely like to reach out to those guys. You know.
Yeah.
I had a question. It might be a hard one because I'm sure you had a lot that came through under your tutelage. Like, who was your best defender you ever coached?
That's a tough one.
You down the video chat? You down the video chat with he right now?
biggest one. I went through a lot of guys, a lot of guys. Some of them I even forgot the names, to be honest with you. But you had some. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. You got Cobra, you got Tyrone, you got Sammy. Yeah. Sammy was a good defender, a very good defender.
We heard.
You're talking about down here. You're talking about down here.
Right. Yeah.
We heard Shaky was a pretty good defender too.
Oh, Shaky Shaky and I used to go back and forth with in the open league. Who gonna win the steel championship? He won it a couple of times. I won a constant. We share it. But yeah, Shaky for sure. Shaky, yeah. Shaky. I even forget that he was a player of mine.
Go ahead.
No, so coaching. So how long did you coach Central for before you went up to MacArthur?
I think 17 years.
Oh, 17. Okay. It's
back and forth because I took a leave of absence and I went to the Air Force and came back.
Oh, okay.
So I remember one year. I don't know how often y'all did it, but I just remember one year. I remember Cheese waking up a morning to go run in some triathlon or something to go run in something. So I remember him coming home and telling me the last show I said he came in second place, but he properly reminded me that he won the whole race. Well, how you come up with that idea to as part of condition and to go let these people go in some 5K run? I said, great.
All right, you gotta come up with new ways to. And I remember when I used to run track in Tuskegee. I used to run cross country. I tell you, I used to try everything. I try everything, man. And the first day when I know I was in good shape, because I had just left the Virgin Islands. I used to play in a lot of leagues and all that stuff. So I know I didn't shape. So they said that they got cross country. And I said, I could try this out. So then guys took us. They started from the school. Now remember, they're in the deep south. You guys know that, deep south. We start running and keep running. Fewer cars. Went from a 2-lane highway to a 1-lane highway and keep going. And we ain't turning back yet. And by the time we turned back, we had already covered 7 miles. And I'm like, something wrong with this picture. Now I'm looking, at first I feel good about myself. I went up with those guys, the good guys, because I'm in shape. So I said, wait a minute, we ain't turning back yet. I don't know where I'm at. So I started to go back with the people and farther back to as we go farther back. And when I look back, I had no one else behind on me, so I had to stay up with somebody. And do you know that first practice we were 14 miles. So to make a long story short, I decided, we got running the track is one thing. The scenery isn't good. Running suicides in the gym, the same thing. But if you got to run, let's say from Hannah's Restaurant and run all the way to Central, that's a good scenic run.
Yeah.
And if you got to run, if you were going to run by the pool from Fish Market, run up on the sand and come back, do sprints between the coming back on the Grey Road, we used to call it that time, and sprints between the bump posts them. That's a good exercise. And then you could get right back home. You could get right back to the gym. So we used to do some of that.
And then after the 5K, I still had to go practice.
That's why I'm up.
That's some walk-on right there, Mr.
Yeah, that's why I'm up.
That's one thing I think the Virgin Islands is missing. My college coach was a runner. He definitely, we used to run outside in the hood. Like we never used to run in the football field, the track or nothing. We used to be outside on the street, running like I said, just running way down the road, and like we ain't never gonna stop and come back past the school, run down the road past the school and come back, and then like he said, warm up.
You warm up.
Yeah,
it's a good warm up too. A good warm up.
It really don't open up your lungs, and when you could. It help you. It does help you in the game, because I remember by the time I get to college, people used to already say that, like, Pang don't get tired. When I got to college, I never got tired. Like I could play from the start of the game to the finish running 100 miles per hour and don't get tired. It'll help you.
It'll help you. And Akeem can attest to this. When I got up there, because I used to do the same thing at Central. I didn't believe in hoarding. And I use the word hoarding your athletes. I have some coaches said, you're only playing basketball, you're only playing volleyball, and you don't play nothing else, I try to push these guys to something. Maybe you'll be better in something than basketball. And I used to know that. I'm giving a few examples. Akeem is here. Akeem used to, I know people don't know that, but Akeem, I remember a time we went to a track meet in Cooper City, Akeem. And this guy used to go and borrow somebody's shoes, and he jumped and then go with Cecil to do other things on the track team. And I was at this thing, and this older white guy said, I never seen this. So I was his coach. I said, so what happened? What did he do? He'll go over there, run his whatever at 200, whatever he's going to run for Cecil, come back, borrow somebody's shoes, and he jumped 6'10". I mean, with somebody, just jumped 6'10". And then run back to the track. And the guy, I said, what happened? What did he do wrong? There's no one else close to him. And he don't even care about to see how high he can go. He went over at least 7 foot. And he didn't give it yet. And this little guy just keeps shaking. I never seen this. I've never seen it. And his brother, Joaquin, did some other crazy stuff. He went to the state. He went to Akeem went. You went state, Akeem?
Yeah, I get 2 medals in the state.
Yeah, state tournament in track and field.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
In the state of Florida. Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Big time.
Akeem went, and I think it was triple jump or the long jump. It was a triple jump, And all of these coaches was buzzing. Who's this kid? Who's this kid? Buzzing. Who is this kid? Who is this kid? And it was Akeem. Akeem jumped, and when he finished he jumped in a car because he had a prom. This was in Orlando, and he had a prom 2.5 hours south to go to, and he missed the state championship by a little less than 1 inch.
Yep.
The state.
Wow.
I remember. It was.
It didn't mean nothing to you.
Who it was? It was this dude from Team USA, the high jumper from Team USA from Florida. So he was at a state meet, and the whole season I had my same routine. I would do right the same steps,
right.
Make sure I mark my steps. I remember you would get vexed because the man come, he was trying to coach me at a state meet, mess me up. I'd get a goal.
I cuss
Wow.
you, and I cuss you, and I cuss you, I cuss you.
I
Don't
I
forget
could,
the
see-
part,
Lockhart
I
was
cuss
vexed.
you.
He was
I could
vexed.
see that.
This guy naturally is jumping way out over the bar. And this
Oh,
guy got a guy who was a national champion to come and tell him now how to do it. And he
Yeah.
done doing it his own way. Same thing with Joaquin. Then I had to stay there and I had to tell him, well, where is he? This coach I want to talk. I had to come with excuses. And then some of them coach followed this guy up for 2 years after that. You know, this one
Yeah.
guy said, I could give Joaquin a scholarship and it'll save me 3 scholarships. I said, what do you mean? He said, everything he's done is better than the top one I had in all high jump, long jump, triple jump. So one player could have take 3 scholarships and he wouldn't go to the school. All right,
Wow.
Akeem, I tell you the truth, right? He will not go.
Yeah,
He will
Lockhart,
not
you know,
go.
and
He wanted to play basketball.
a lot of people think like I would jump, but like if you really ain't never seen my brother jump, like I tell you, like the man had like a 48-inch vertical as a freshman in high school. There's
Yeah.
no telling where it was after that, but like I ain't
He
never
was
seen a freak
amazing.
after that.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
He did some things in basketball too.
Yeah.
I think a guy come out. I was in the gym and a guy came out and said, "Hey, coach, you ever see Akeem put the hand in the rim?" I said, well, "Anybody, one of them guys dunk him. I mean, Akeem, I'll him to do it. I'll him to do it." He said, "No, you understand me? Put your whole hand in the rim." I said, "Stop pushing them, man." So I went outside and I said, "What's going on?" Joaquin, they say, then they say, "Show you, Alan Boozy, show you, coach, show you." And Joaquin dunked and put his whole arm in the rim. I've never seen that. I've never seen that. I've seen a lot of basketball, a lot of leapers. And then this other time, we went to this gym, a white school, and we were beating them. It was a good game. And this guy, about 6'4", maybe 6'5", about 2 steps inside of the free throw line, decided to take a charge. A lot of them used to do that. They take charge and then say you could get fouled out. And he used to like the black shot. This is Akeem now. Now, Joaquin. And he take off. And the guy put his hand right here, take a charge. And the guy just keep doing this. And when almost to the end, when he saw his foot, he do like this because he already cleared him, straddled him, and dunk. And the ref called a foul. I think the ref missed the whole call. He ain't fouled, but the ref said he had to have fouled him. And he dunked. The whole bench, usually in high school, the fans stay behind your bench. The whole bench run across the floor and came behind our bench. I know these players had to feel terrible.
man.
That was and then before we got on the bus, it was an Instagram. I know these things. Instagram. It was one of these things whereby you could it was done flying across the United States. They got take that shot.
Jeez.
These 2 guys, Akeem and Joaquin, did a lot of legendary things at my school. A lot of legendary things.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I didn't know you were doing your track thing, man. Congrats to that, man. Congrats.
Yeah, truck. I'll tell you, truck was one of them things. Like at first, when I do it, Lockhart, he know, like I didn't really want to do nothing but basketball, right? And even when I first get to McCarthy, I remember the first day I get to Florida. It was the second day. Me and Lockhart went to the gym, to work out, play ball, and they had some people from the school, football players. They were walking out at the same time outside. So a couple of the football players, they know Lockhart, so they wanted to come and say hi. So they see me in the gym, walking out, jumping. They went straight to the coach. Who was Coach Franklin?
Cecil.
Coach
Franklin,
Franklin
the football coach,
for
Franklin,
football.
yes.
Who he was? I think it was who he was? Pork chop.
Receiver. Mm-hmm.
Pork chop. Remember that much? That gave
Pork
me
chops, pork chops.
He went out there and tried to recruit me to the football team quick. But
the wide receiver.
I didn't really care about football like that. I didn't care. Who knows what I be in football, but truck. My first truck meet, I never forget. I was frustrated. I couldn't jump over 5'10". I had no technique. So like the next truck meet, I was like, you know what? 5'10" ain't really that tall. So I just started jumping over the whole bar. Like me want bend my back. My whole leg, everything. I just jumped since I kicking over the bar. So it was different then, but it was fun. It was fun.
But see, that's the thing. Again, same thing we're talking about. What I was speaking about earlier. These guys, they train for this particular sport, all the time. And when they do, they're proficient in it. We just jump in the thing and start doing it ruggedly, with no training, and we still excelling.
And that's Lockhart, man. It's crazy you set up there, like the technique, the skill set, the resources to get them skills and really sharpen them skills. Me and Pang were talking about that last week. Like the one thing with the VI, like we have a lot of athletes. Like the athletic ability in some of the kids that come out to the Virginals is unheard of. It's crazy. But like the one thing we really lack in is like the resources to like really sharpen some of the skill sets that we have from some of the players, some of these athletes. Because so a lot of these kids that growing up and come, even myself and us on the call, like it's no telling where we could have been with the correct resources. And I think that's something right now that as a VI community, like we're missing that. And it's been that way for a while. Like we take just the athletic ability for granted. And like, it can only take us so far. And you mentioned it, like when you look at the kids in the States, they have those resources, they have the skill sets, they have the availability to have a gym open at any time. We didn't have that, we had an outdoor gym. We didn't have a personal trainer, coach, and stuff like that. The kids up here, they have those resources. So like in order to see different things change and to move the athletes in the island, I think we really got to find a way to provide those resources in the islands, man. Like we have to, because like I said, the skill set is the raw athleticism is there, but just to sharpen the skill set to move them to the next level, like that's what's missing right now. It's missing, and it's been that way. We can't keep ignoring that part. It's just one thing. It's one thing. It's one tweak. One tweak. We're missing that one tweak, and that's just really getting the skill set where you really need to be.
Like you just said, I can give a couple of examples, a couple of players that I know, because like I said, you guys was after me, so I follow you to a certain extent. But these I know for a fact. You had a guy named Anderson Herbert, all right?
Yeah.
He used to play baseball for Genix, so, and I remember when he's a hell of a pitcher. He was a big guy. He ended up being 6'8", 6'9", a big guy, and he was a pitcher. And you know how you guys are crowd the plate, and somehow the guy get hit with the ball and break his hand, and that kind of throw Andy away from playing baseball for a while. He was a little, a kid. He didn't want to hurt nobody, but the guy went in the way and he got hit. But Andy got a scholarship. They came down to Central, and he went up to play ball in America. But after Andy left there, personally, I believe Andy should have been in the NBA. That's my thought. I think he's one of, if not the best, and I'm including Tim Duncan too. Don't get me wrong. Out of high school, I'd have put Andy in front of Tim Duncan. Don't get me wrong, and I'll go back to Timmy in a little while. And I think he's the best big man that came out of the Virgin Islands. But he went to a smaller school, and from there he went overseas, because it's hard to get, believe it or not, it's hard to get a look at in the NBA if somebody can pull you or point to you or tell you this, that. It's so many guys. It's so many guys playing basketball, like all of you know, in the United States. And I used to get called from Andy all the time. 2 o'clock in the morning, hey, coach, and then Sweden, I just had a good game. Great, man. Good night. I got to go to school in the man. Go work. I got called from Germany. And he played in 46 states. 46 states.
Wow.
46 countries. Basketball took him to 46 countries. Right now, he has his own body security guard for the Stars. Because Mariah Carey, he called me from Africa. I'm here with Mariah Carey, and he showed me pictures and different people, right? You had Leon Trimmingham. He, like I said, I had to sit in my game because of grades, but he ended up going to a small school, Bay Cliff, I think the name it was, and he did go to, I think, Argentina or Australia. I could be wrong, but he was a big star down there. His name was all over the billboard and all kind of stuff down there. And here it is here. If he had more, that what Akeem was speaking about, more people probably would have known about him to get him to where he was. I think he lived in Houston now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he left Houston, and he's big in
Houston, right?
Yeah, and he's big in Australia. He's like
Australia.
you said,
Okay.
he's a superstar in Australia.
He was a super. See, rest in peace, Ronnie Richards. He played for me also.
Yeah.
But he was also one of my feed for who's doing what down here. Because Ronnie used to know all the players because he was associated with the basketball before he became president. And he used to call and tell me who all these guys are, what they are. As a matter of fact, he used to call me and tell me to go look at players for him that they were trying to get to come play for the Virgin. I can tell you about a couple of them also. And he used to tell me how big Leon Trimmingham was down that side. He said in the billboard and all that stuff, those people were like a god on there. Sorry to put it like that, but he was big time. Who is you ask the average John Doe on the street there, who the hell was Leon Trimmer? They have no idea. You go down a big country like that, and they will all, oh yeah. They all know him. You know what I mean? Same thing with Raymond Milligan. We had we went to he was in Florida at the time, and he had been in Florida about 10 years at that time. He already played 20 years in the military. I mean, in Puerto Rico League, in the Superior League, and we were at a banquet or something. I forgot where it was, and it was out of our area where I lived. And a Puerto Rican saw him. I think we went to eat, and that was all she wrote. We had to pay for nothing. They start, hey, Raymond Milligan, and calling everybody to come meet. Raymond, this is Raymond Milligan. This is 20 years since this play. But that's how these people are. Other people know you outside of this little area we live in, more so than that. We shouldn't be. Another person I would like to talk about, and he's I'm one of his biggest fans, and people won't even believe I'll say this. Him and I grew up together. We played on the same team. We played against each other. His name is Uzi Richards. I'm so proud of the guy. Do you know Uzi Richards? If you ask the average person, you guys know about this. I know I hear a lot of negative things people say about him, but sometimes you got to make decisions that everyone don't like. Do you guys know, the average Virgin Island don't know that Raymond Uzi Richards was the president, and listen to what I'm saying, the president of the Eastern Hemisphere for FIBA. Do you know what that is? FIBA. He was responsible from Canada, everything to do with basketball, to Australia and all those countries down there. If you ask them who Uzi Richards, I mean the federations now, I'm talking about the federation. If you ask them who Uzi Richards was, they'll know. I met this guy in the airport coming home, and he just came from Sweden. I see him the next day, he just going to Germany, and Uzi accomplished a feat that I didn't think would have ever happened. Not that I followed it to that point, but that was great. I mean, great. A lot of people didn't like, because when it was just the forming the basketball federation here, he had a lot of infighting used to go on with St. Thomas and St. Croix, and my father is from St. Thomas, so they could cuss all they want. St. Thomas and St. Croix, and he had a lot of people pushing him down and pulling him down, you know. He didn't have the support. The people didn't give the support to the basketball federation that they give to other teams. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't running for no governor, so I don't give a shit. They didn't give him the, and I know this for a fact. And Mumba gonna come to the next point we and I talk about. They didn't give him the support on the back end. He used to have to fight tooth and nail. Sometimes the players didn't get enough money to eat, and sometimes they didn't get to do this, and the guy had to pull on script to get this done, to get the basketball federation to where it was. And then after that, he turned it over to get it to my good friend, rest in peace, my former player, Ronnie Richards. And they took the basketball, people mightn't agree, but they took the Virgin Island basketball teams to greater heights. Now, we hear that, moving around the islands when I come home, I'll hear, hey, Lockhart, you hear the wing and nobody on the team? Oh, Lockhart, you hear that ICOS?
You said the S word a few times, but you good.
Oh,
you good.
That is easy. All of us got to go at that.
You good, man. You're good.
I don't use them other words than some of them guys. I don't use them, but I don't use them. Anyway, the basketball federation, let's go back to that. And if they would have gotten somebody, we're talking about the players, and they don't have any players for the local players. And it ain't true, because if Akeem was born in Georgia, his mother and his father is from here, his grandmother is from here, he's a Virgin Islander. I'm sorry. And if you could reach out and get those type players, you got to do it. I'll give you a good example.
Yeah.
My cousin, and some of you guys is way before you guys, his name is Butch Lee. My mother is his aunt. His father is my uncle. He was born in, listen to this, how it went down. He was born in Puerto Rico by a mother, my uncle, which is Alfred Lee, and Gloria Lee, his mother, Gloria, both was from St. Thomas, but he was born in Puerto Rico. He ended up playing in Marquette, if you guys don't remember that, Butch Lee. When the Olympic team came around, he was not selected for the U.S. Olympic team because he's also a United States citizen. He could play for the U.S.
Yeah.
So Puerto Rico got him to play for them. He never lived in Puerto Rico, but because he was born in Puerto Rico, they took him to Canada. And that was the closest game that United States played because Butch Lee outscored almost the whole team, pretty much. And they lost the game, but it was like a 4-5 point game. He ended up going back to Puerto Rico and living, and was a legend down there in the league. For I'm sure Boba, Keegan must say you heard of him, and he lives down there now. The other one, hold on a second, please. Butch Lee, Raymond Milligan. Raymond Milligan was the same thing. Raymond Milligan could have played for Puerto Rico. He could have played for the he was a United. He could have played for United States, and he could have played for the Virgin Islands because he lived in Hurricane Court. But because he had played a game in Brazil with the Puerto Rican national team, it made him ineligible to play for the Virgin Islands, which he wanted to do really, really badly. After we started to get a team that was a representative team, it was too late. He already messed up. So OC, I say that to say, OC had to take players in order to be competitive. He had to go ahead and take players from wherever he can get it who had ties to the Virgin Islands. And people got upset with him. And I understand why, don't get me wrong. But if you want to improve your program, you got to do it. Now, you guys played. Rivera played. Boba, you played. You could play. Akeem, you played for the VIT?
Yeah.
Akeem played.
Yeah.
Pang, you played.
Yeah.
Tegan played. And several other people played. At times, you think you would figure more people should play, but it don't work like that.
Right.
If Puerto Rico could get 10 guys from Spain who was born in Puerto Rico, the grandmother was born in, they will pick them and be happy with it. The Puerto Rican, we're not that type of people. We're not that type of people. We don't think like that. But that was one of Usi's them biggest problem with the way people look at what they were trying to do. They bring all these Yankee guys here, No. Look, Collins. You guys know Collins from Atlanta?
Yeah.
He could have played. He could play for the Virgin. He could still do it. The Virgin Islands national team, but he ain't gonna do it because he's a pro. He's from St. Thomas. His people is from St. Thomas. But that's what I'm saying. You gotta reach out to these people. You have to do it. If we gonna compete with them, I'm sorry, we have to do it. We don't got a few. Zorro could have played for anybody. You guys could have played for him, but ain't everybody gonna do it. I went to a practice one time, and I hear I'm gonna come off of this thing because it used to bother me. I went to a practice when I came home one time, and we had some guys come in from other places, and they were invited, a couple of our local guys. And I'm looking at the side, and I see them guys sitting in the corner with the mouth push up, grumbling, and because they know who the hell I was, and I'm like, I can't believe this stuff. I can't believe this. They coming to try out with a negative attitude. If I was the coach, you are gone. You wasn't even get to buy your good shoes. Get the hell out of my damn gym. I'm telling you how it is. Get out of my gym.
It's true.
You
That's
can't
true.
come with attitude. You gotta come. If I see these guys and Tyrone them and all you guys will say, Tyrone come in there, he give a whoever that is, I gonna bust their butt. You did it. You guys do it. You're gonna go. That's the mentality after. You can't what? Yeah, they bring all these guys up. They bring all these guys here to complain. Blah 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 blah. You already defeated yourself.
Right.
And that was one of our problems. That's one of our
problems. But Lockhart, on that note, I make the national team after my senior year in high school. So after I graduated high school, we had a tryout. I hear about a tryout, Central High School. I talked to OC. OC was like, come to the tryout. You got opportunity to make the team. Yeah, they had players who, of course, were coming from the States and so on. And at the same time, it was an opportunity for me. So like, you got to be quiet and go out there and just work. You got to go out there and grind.
Yes.
You got to go out there and shine. Like at the end of the day, I went out there and I seized the opportunity. The tryout it was an open tryout. It had I never forget. It was probably 40 people out there. 40 months trying to try out for the national team, and only a couple people make it. But I went out there and I had to ball, and I make it. But at the same time,
you have to try out.
Opportunity is there. Stop whining
Stop
And I see
whining.
what you're saying. Stop whining and go out there and prove your point.
Life is not given to you. Life
Right.
is not given to you.
Yeah,
You got to keep trying.
that's
You
true.
got to keep trying.
Yeah,
I,
We have a lot of that. I'm sorry to say, we have a lot of that.
it's true. You're right. You're right. You know,
Hey,
and not to
guys,
be. Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead.
You go ahead.
No.
I had a. I don't know if you guys have to know. Akeem played for me. He leave here, came out, and that continued after I left and I went up there. I had players from St. Thomas, players from Puerto Rico, a lot of players from Puerto Rico because of Coach Milligan. It word spread, and we got a lot of players from Puerto Rico. The Bahamas, we had players. So I had players from. We were pulling guys up there. You know, we were pulling people. Donald Bow used to help us a lot. We will pull people from here to come up there to do the same thing, give them exposure, right? And I remember one time I was on a phone call, that guy with Ronnie Richards, Perron again, and we was getting a player from St. Thomas. And he and all was a little upset. I ain't calling him because my opinion is a negative image. I ain't gonna call no name. But the guy was a good player, but he had some problems. And they wanted him to come to me to like settle him down. Like, why should I do to Pan if I was there? To settle him down and get him right. You understand? And they wanted him to come to me. And you know where the grandmother said on the phone, and I like, wow, up to now. She said, ask him if he can play a player for St. Thomas and the team. And I'm like, wow, I ain't heard nothing like that since I left St. Croix. Ask him if he can play a player for St. Thomas. In other words, I ain't gonna give you a chance. You know that kind of way? Obviously, to tell you, after they hang up, I tell Ronnie, that's it. I ain't want to deal with that. I ain't gonna deal with that kind of mentality. I used to deal with it here. Hey, you only play guys from West. You only play guys from Grove. You only play guys from Mombiju. Yeah. Then you start, you only play for Yada. You only play from East. You know, that kind of. I then used to give up where you came from. If you come and like Akeem just say you compete, that's all I want. Compete. And I used to bring these guys from all. I had guys starting for me from St. Thomas, and she's gonna ask a question like that, you know. That used to really offend me. That was one of my pet peeves, talking about that type of stuff, what they're doing.
Yeah. I was going to touch on. I was just going to say, you know, what Montana was talking about, and you just touched on too. You know, we have had so many. I think this is episode 16. So we had 15 guests. You know, we have celebrated at Anna, and every one of those athletes, you know, had the same mentality. It's just go out and just giving it your all. You're not worrying about the next person. It's just that competitive mindset. And that's in order to be successful as an athlete, that's the kind of mentality you have to have. You know, no matter who's standing in front of you, you just gotta go out and just play. Just play ball. Whatever sport it is, you just gotta go out and play. You know, and just give it everything you got.
Right.
So in my time coming up, alongside my older brother Cheese, Tyrone was one of my favorite players, if not the favorite player watching when I was I would say in middle school in Arta. Tyrone was my favorite player watching to play. Like, how was it coaching Tyrone in Central?
I'm glad you asked that question. And let me go take with Tyrone. Tyrone, I know Tyrone before he was a seed. If you guys know what I mean. That might be over your head. You guys kind of over your ear. I know Tyrone before he was a seed. I know Tyrone mother in school. I know Tyrone father from Frederickstead. And when we used to plasma, I didn't like to play elementary school. Tyrone was a very competitive guy. And if you're playing against me, obviously it's going to be against Central High. It's going to be a little difficult if you're the best player because we're going to focus our attention to you. And he couldn't get to do what he wanted at Elena. And Tyrone came to Central and he broke up the thing. After the last, he broke up the thing in this, and he broke up that, and he stand out the gym and he throw the ball and he ain't gonna play for Lockhart. Never in life. He was I like that. Don't get me wrong. I like competitive. He don't like to lose. Tyrone do not like to lose. The next year he come and I apologize. I'm like, sorry. I know he mother. I know he father. You think I'm gonna take a thing against a child like that. I need to catch yourself. Of course, I put it through the strainer for a while,
Mm-hmm.
they understand himself. But then Tyrone endured, persevered, and became the player he is. Tyrone, again, he's another one that barring the injury to his knee. Because how much players could get in a junior college to get a knee problem that they have to have surgery, and a Division I school like Utah State gonna call you and say they'll take care of everything for you to play for them for only 2 years. That's the type of player he was, and he did. Utah State, look, we reach out to him, and they'll take a chance with him, and that to me that saying a lot. And Tyrone, barring that injury, I don't know if you guys probably were a little too smart. When Central was in his heyday, when they were doing carrying in the heyday, sorry to say, they in order to make things competitive, we used to get all the schools them to get an all-star team. This is when Timmy were playing too.
I remember this.
You remember this?
Yeah.
See where I'm going to go with it now. And the media got a hold of it. All of the teams from all the other schools them and everything. Anybody else other than Central, let's put that way. And the media got a hold of it, and they blew that shit up big time, man. Blow it up all over the place. How they go, they're going to finally meet the match here, da. Well, that was fuel to the fire. I went and tell them, what your man talking about? I know, blah, 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 blah. Show them the paper and so. That man had, like, you're just trying red meat to them, man. When the game start, the place was packed. It was packed. And Sandra, her crew was there too. They love Sandra.
Big up, Sandra.
Anyhow.
Big up. Big up, Sandra.
Yes. She's a 100% fan. She was always behind me when the guy had people.
She watching too, by the way. She watching, so.
Oh, she watching?
Yeah.
Sandra's 100%. Tyrone, biggest thing, he want Timmy. And I think Tyrone still got a tape, That was a game. I think Tyrone dunked on him. Tyrone had almost 30 points. But my point is, it wasn't a game either. Even though it was that, we totally dominated those guys. And Tyrone was a key guy doing that. He just wanted that competition. He wanted Timmy to guard him. And I think it happened, and I think it didn't turn out good for him.
Did not.
I think Tyrone dunked on him.
He sure did
Lockhart,
dunk that game.
This one thing I've been thinking about with the VI. So like, I know me and Pang had a discussion. Can you hear me? I hear him?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. I know me and Pang had a discussion on just like how the island is St. Croix, and being specific, like just the courts. Like, I went home last year. My aunt passed away, so I went home, spent some time with the family, and just driving by some of the courts run down, ain't nobody playing ball.
Oh my gosh.
And I know, Pang asked me like, what do you think it is? And I tell you, like, you gotta look at basketball when we were little, like, it was attraction. I was like in love with basketball. Like, it was different things I see, of course, watching people on, like Michael Jordan on TV, Kobe Bryant, like, of course, I fell in love with the sport because of those players, but like specifically in St. Croix, like I fell in love with basketball because I wanted to be somebody in the Virgin Islands. I wanted to be somebody in the island.
Yes.
Like I live, you know where we live. We live right across from Central High School. The gym right there by the house. So like sometimes we going home with my mother, going home, driving by the gym sometimes Friday night, Saturday night, gym ram, the lights. It's just something that just watching the gym as a child light up from outside, living that close to the gym. It just did something to me, and it wanted me to like really drive myself to be somebody, to be in that gym one day, playing basketball on a good level. And I think just looking at the sport as it is right now in St. Croix, like the attraction is gone. Like the streets is more attractive than basketball. So like my question to you is like, what will it take to get like basketball attractive to the youth on the island now?
That is a great question, and I'm so glad you brought it up. So glad. My heart to bleed when I say I live in Wim right now, and if I go up there, showing nobody on the court. From the time I know myself, any court you go, you got people playing. Harrigan Court, down by the waterfront, East Grove, all over people playing ball. And now it's very rarely. I think if you go to Christian said, it might have some people playing up there by the ballpark. Might. I don't think I have anybody in West playing.
Yeah.
And these other courts. But what I'm was so disappointed in, and I know this is not a political forum, but one of our biggest problems, and again, like I said, I ain't running for no governor, no sense. I ain't give a you know what.
No, tell the truth.
I ain't
Speak your mind. Speak your mind. Yes.
One of our biggest problem is the people who have the strings that can make a difference in a lot of young life and a big scale. We're doing it once. I hear Pankal about Mr. Tyler and this body and that body. That's one person doing one person. I'm talking in a big scale. The people them who gonna control the purse string. That's the people them in power. We have no one. Pang, I think one of you guys told me, one of you said your boss is white, is over recreation. No, it's Tegan.
Tegan, yeah.
Tegan, yeah.
Tegan,
Yeah.
boss is white, yeah, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have nobody up that side. And I'm talking about senators. OC tried his best when he be in. Like, don't get me wrong, I said no, but I mean one or two. These guys, that's the last thing on their mind. Ain't gonna get them no vote. So they ain't gonna do nothing to it. They could do something with the basket. In Puerto Rico, Milligan used to always tell me that. He said, I don't understand why we don't get these federal funds that Puerto Rico don't get. They don't get federal funds. I don't know if these people know it or not. But Puerto Rico don't get federal funds. Every municipal have a basketball court, a lighted basketball, regardless if it's indoor or outdoor. Everyone have one. And they get it refurbished annually or every 2 years. We have them at the basketball court in West where I used to play. Is the same now than it was. And I'm going to tell you my age, but I played more than 40, 50 years. You understand what I'm saying? And there's no one to help. Look at Pali Joseph Stadium. I think we got goat down there. Look at Central Games Gym. It's an ISO. I am sorry. Don't tell me nothing, but we had a hurricane. That hurricane was 3 years ago. Don't tell me that. Look at that Central High Gym.
That's true.
Look at Arthur Gym. And you could go through the island with that type of that same picture. You can't tell me that these people don't know how to go. I don't know. I ain't no senator. But I know that it's happened because in Puerto Rico, I know they do it. And we're under the U.S. flag. We're under the U.S. flag. They could find money to make these things functionable, thereby giving the young people a chance to do what we got a chance to do. You guys, and I, because you guys passed the stage, got a chance to do. And if you could get them to do that, you'll take them off the street, like Akeem just said, to make the street attractive. You can't want them to find their own way without a little bit of guidance and a little bit of help. And these people are not doing it. I'm sorry, young people need to get registered to vote and find somebody who wants to push these type of stuff. And them a lot of them don't like our politicians are like that, I'm sorry to say. But they come out and at least they say, okay, look, if I get in there, I gonna make sure all of these things are done. OC tried to bring out basketball, we call it in what is not Campo Rico, but the dump right here in West. They had getting the land bought and all that stuff, if I'm not mistaken. And the whole up was somebody wanted it up mid-island. So we get nothing. Nothing is done.
Yeah.
The Frederickstead ballpark, you hear all kind of ignorance that, oh, we want to have a soccer field and we want to have this. Well, start something, no, man. They always have an excuse for not doing what they're supposed to do. Right. I don't know the excuse for centralizing. I don't know what the excuse is for centralizing. They said, I know the excuse for Richards is, but they always have a good excuse. They're good at excuses. We have a guy, and this ain't a plug. I shouldn't say it's not a plug. It is a plug for him. We have a former player of mine running for Senate. I know who he is.
You said running for Senate?
Yeah, well, ain't started yet. But his advertisement there on it all the time. I don't come up with the name, man. Because I want to say this, they tell me that I gained in this the Senate thing. I don't know if it's Joe. Michael Springer, he played for me.
I know, I don't even know who that
Oh, that's
is.
right. You guys live in the States. You guys live. I'm so sorry. You guys live in the States. Michael Springer played for me in Bass. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Tegan will know him. Michael Springer, he running for Senate. These guys need to go tell you, hey, Mike, what you going to do when you get in there? You used to play. A
Right.
lot of these guys who they know, none of them never played a damn sport. They really played sport.
Yeah.
So they don't.
Wait. I know Michael Springer, yes. Repo? That's Repo?
Yeah.
Repo
Yeah,
running
you
for
know
Yeah,
him.
senator.
I
Yeah,
know,
Repo.
I know Repo, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if he's gonna be like that. Cause don't get me. I haven't seen. Yeah, I see him already. I shouldn't say that. I don't know where his head is at. But my point is, we need to get guys who benefit from these things to get in the Senate.
Right.
And we need for the young people to vote for them. Look what they do with the track. The racetrack is another thing. You know how much young guys used to occupy has to take a race. Taking care of a horse takes a lot of time and energy, effort, money. It keep you occupied. The poor boy
Right.
that used to go in Williams, the light and run it. Those guys, I see how kind of stable knock up all over the place to put it. Come on, blood has to go run. I used to run horses too, so I know. To knock up the stable. I mean, they say it was illegal and all that crazy stuff. Yeah, but they did it for 2 years. With all the shooting and violence that we have in this island, do you know that never had a violence up there?
Right.
They had one lady get her car damaged, and those guys paid for it. Oh, they guys paid for it. Not the insurance company. Those guys paid for it. No problems. And they close up the damn track. So now what they're going to go back to the streets, Akeem? They're going back to the streets. These are things that they need to do
sport.
to get them away from that. You got to give them something to do, man. Come on.
You have to.
It's true.
Yeah, and sports to get the kids, man. Like
Sports is the
discipline
outlet.
is the biggest thing. Like
Sports is the
a
outlet.
lot of discipline.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sports is the outlet. Sports is the outlet. I always believe in that. Sports is the outlet.
I remember coming up. I think Pam touched on it a couple episodes ago when we was playing. I remember when I was like 13, 14, and Pam's a little bit older. We had like the Winfield James League and Arthur Richards. You know, Peter was running that. We had, it was so many different leagues that was going on that you could just play like 2 to 4 different leagues. You know, at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
At the same time, we ain't got one now.
That's insane.
We used to have rest in peace, Severin Peter Billa.
Yes, rest in peace.
People didn't like him, but those who know that Peter did a lot for basketball. He used to have leagues with all the fighting and neighborhood thing used to go on. He used to still try to push these different leagues. Peter did a lot for basketball here. You know?
He did a lot.
Just one person. I mean, I ain't gonna tell her about Peter. I know Peter. I remember one time. No, we ain't gonna. Peter, you all know Peter. Let's go. Let's leave it. I know Peter. Peter grew up across from me in the project, so I know Peter from way back. We go way back. I'll do anything to help Peter, and he did anything to help me. Anything, you know. I remember one time Peter even went a little far. People didn't know Peter was a deep guy, you know. People just didn't know that. Kind of way he carry himself. Peter, you know, he rather bust your slap than talk to. Anyhow, Peter, when Timmy went to play long in a league, he called me, he said, "Hey, Lockhart, I ain't think this guy can." Be honest with you, I never tell her the story about Timmy. I can go back to that. We know Timmy was gonna go somewhere. If you didn't know, you really didn't know anything about basketball. And he said, he had just come back from Wake Pride. I used to play down there before when he did in high school. And I used to advise, and I know if I advise Joaquim and Hakeem and that, but I used to tell them, you know, once I got to college and I get started, I'll be honest with you, be careful. Be careful. If I play in the league, I know that's the way it is, but go think of yourself. And he tell me, you think I should tell Timmy he shouldn't play in this league? I say, I agree with you 100%. And if I could get here, I'll tell him. And he told him that, don't play in the league no more. He asks you why, and he tell you, you're going to get hot. You're going to get hot. Timmy was 6'10", 6'11". He was a big guy, you know. And those are the people easily hot. They get hot really easily.
Yeah.
And I don't think he did after that. But let me go back with Timmy. I saw Timmy. Timmy coach had come to me and asked me, I got a player. He don't have much skills because he used to swim. It was right after Hugo too, and they messed up the pool at Country Day. But I don't know what to do. So I said, well, a couple of things. I gave him some drills to give him. And I said, bring him to the gym. I don't care what I had two guys from all over, Arthur Richards, Elena Christian, St. Joseph, Country Day. I used to have guys to the gym in the summertime and after school to come play. When the season finished, when the season is only my team. Bring him to the gym. So he used to come with Rashidi. Rashidi had the transportation, and he used to come with Repo. He used to come with Malloy, who is a judge right now. And those guys used to come to the gym. And then we will give them, I used to get them drills. I got a couple of pictures with Timmy, with the Caribs summer camp and doing drills and so on, so on, so on. So he started getting better. I used to vex guys to make it poppy hand. But Timmy was very, 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 we had two things. One of the things we talked about was education. He was a good student. Pang, he was a good student.
Yeah. he was smart.
I just want to make sure, I want to make sure you're sleeping. He was a good student. All right? So that was a good thing going for you. And he got into a good school because of some of the exposure. Did I tell you guys about the team coming out? No, I didn't tell you. Let me tell you about it. So at the time, Arthur Richards was the second best team. I did tell you this? No?
No, not yet.
No.
It was Central High, Arthur Richards, St. Dunstan, country, And I had invited this team to come play us. And I wanted to at least 2 games to play. So I got all my coaches and I said, you know what? This team from the States comes, it's a high school team. I don't think they're going to want to play against a junior high team. They don't look good, right? Which team? And we all agreed to St. Dunstan because of Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
So they came and they played the game. It was a Friday night, I think. Gym was pretty packed. They put a beating on St. Dunstan, but Timmy did his thing. He bring up the ball, he black shot, he scored. You know, it wasn't a strong team. And this was a strong team from the States. It was a state championship or something like that, and they got the chance to travel. So somebody forget to tell them to do the homework because they believe that's what they were going to meet the next night. They were going to play with it Saturday night. So the coach asked me where he wanted to go. What he could do with his team. I could take them to the beach. I'll get some transportation and take you guys down there. Get them things to eat and stuff by that place by I forget the name of it now, but it was a restaurant type. It was Sandbar, her name, right by the ballpark.
Yeah, Sandbar.
Okay, yeah. Carry them there, man. We feed them up. My people who are wrong, who don't help there with the team, they feed them up. And my team stay home and sleep now. They had to stay home and sleep. Feed them up and everything, right? Because they figuring in their mind, I just beat up with this big guy, so they got to be one of the best teams around here. And they beat them by 30, 40 points. I can't remember. But they forget to ask the question. So the next day they come back. Went to the beach. My guys stay home. The game was 8 o'clock, let's say. Excuse me. We won the game. Well, about 105 marathon game. 105 to 102 or 3. That coach, I mean, if he could have tear off his skin, he would have. Tell us how we cheat. How we trigger with the clock. The clock was running too slow. Anyhow, long and short of the story, we didn't expect to lose, obviously, after beating that team the day before. But now this thing don't work out like this. If I invite you, you reciprocate by inviting me the next year. That's how I did with all the other teams.
Mm-hmm.
The next team, do you know which team they invited from the Virgin Islands? Take a guess.
St. Dunstan.
Timmy on the St. Dunstan team. So that's how Timmy started getting his exposure. Don't let nobody fool that. A lot of people said this body and that body. Timmy got his exposure because of that. Okay, they went up there and they saw him, and he did some other things too. Anderson Howard helped him out a little bit too, and he got up there and he got to a good school. But the thing is, everything fell in just fine with Fifi. He was a freshman. He was gonna play with behind I forget the guy's name, who was everything. A left-hander, but when Timmy went to his first year, he decided to go to the pro. He made himself eligible to the pro. So Timmy stepped in, and at the right time, his hands up, rebound, doing the right things, and he had a very, very successful 4 years. He just stepped in at the right moment, at the right time, and that's what a lot of this thing go. If you opportunities is there for you. You got to take it, and it fell in right. Oh, Tyrone telling me Greg Basco 52 points against St. Dunstan.
Yeah,
against the Caribs.
he was a I remember he
One
was
of
a
the top
bald
of United
headed.
States.
Right,
Yes.
he was bald headed. I
Yes.
remember.
Uh,
Was Arthur playing in that tournament?
huh? No. No, it
Okay,
was just us and Dunson. No, no.
I
Yes,
remember.
he was right. He was the top scorer for United States of America.
Yeah, I remember
That
when he
was the guy,
came.
Greg Barr. That's the team that came here, Greg Barr.
Oh wow.
Yes.
They were.
He
I
was a
think they were
bald boy.
like a purple team. They used to wear purple.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I remember
We
that
beat them.
tournament.
We beat them. And again, this was. I didn't care who we played. I'll play anybody. Win, lose. At least as long as we could get some exposure, I'm playing you. I'm playing you.
Hey,
Right.
that's true.
Like I said, we go
Exposure.
to Puerto Rico, we played 4-5 games. Sometimes they put us all over. We chased the goat them off at the damn field. And let's play an outdoor court before the last play indoor. And lesser team play inside, but they knew what they were doing. And that's the way it'll work. You don't come and play I know you got a good job. I'm the host of the team. I ain't gonna let you play up the easiest seed in. Same thing with St. Thomas. And when they come here, I don't want to play Charlotte Mali first. Charlotte Mali don't want to play me first. So you're going to give somebody else a game. And the same thing when we go over that, even though I'm going to beat them, I don't want to play them first. Or Eudora can, I want to play someone else. So we used to have that jockeying going on in them times. But it goes all over. It goes all over. All over.
I remember playing in a central tournament while I was still on the JV team. When Interscholastic had a rule that you could move up for tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got knocked out in the first round though. We played Puerto Rico and get what our behind whoop.
Oh, let me bring in this other part. It's not basketball, but it's part of coaching. I love volleyball. Even though some people in St. Croix used to think I don't love it, I never used to let them do what they wanted to do in the gym when I been there. After I left, they didn't hear it. Because I really don't. I'm an old guy now. You can like me, don't like me. I'm not looking for friends. I'm not looking for friends in this stage and state. And I used to play volleyball too before I even leave here. And when I got there, they asked me to coach the girls team. I coached the girls JV and varsity team for must about 5 or 6 years. Gosh, it's horrible. Anyhow, and the boys team, now when they asked me to coach the boys team, that was a different thing because I took my best. Akeem, you didn't get to play. You left before I get to that point. I wasn't a volleyball coach. I take my boys team, my boys basketball team, pick a few players and put them on the volleyball team. And do you know we went to the state champion, not the last, the top 4, but the quarterfinals for the state in volleyball. And my last year coaching volleyball, it was 2015, I think. Somebody correct me. And we won a district championship in boys volleyball, which is something. The team that we went to play, they kick us out of the gym. They won't let us take pictures and all that stuff because they were the top seed, and we kicked them out. We beat them. That's the last coach. That's the last team I've coached, boys volleyball. But I used to take my guys. Just same thing I tell Akeem. I used to let them play track, but because I was the coach for the volleyball team, I would tell them to come play volleyball. And we had some good volleyball. And some of them you're not going to believe. Michael Ford. I know some of you guys know Michael Ford.
Yeah, we know Ford. Yeah.
Michael Ford came up there when he was in 9th grade. And in 9th grade, his 9th grade season, he was the leading rebounder in Broward County. 9th grader.
Wow.
Yep.
And his 9th, 10th, 11th, they took some guy on, which we knew better. They get some other guy with it, and they were playing like wrong with the thing. And his senior year. But also, he was a hell of a volleyball player. The first time I asked him to play, some guys beat up on him. I mean, guys were big and they just beat up on him and he didn't like it. So he went and started working on it. Just like Tyrone, he didn't like losing. And he didn't like it. Them guys slammed the ball. Bow, bow, bow. And he became a demon that he came all Broward, which is a big county, in volleyball. Yep. When he got to take the pictures, and they, what are you doing here? Hey, they tell me to come. Okay, you need to talk more. They tell me to come. And he was a very, very good volleyball. We had Jose. You guys know Jose Santos?
No.
He played basketball for me, but he also was he could have gone far in volleyball, but he just didn't do what he was supposed to do. Great volleyball player. You had a Jungles before you guys' time or after your time. A guy named your colleague in England, Philip Jungle.
Yeah.
That man.
All guys used to play volleyball.
Yeah.
They play volleyball for me. But yeah, volleyball was one of my other sports.
So I have a personal question.
Talk to me.
Yeah, he gonna kill me if I don't ask. So how was coaching Cheese? Like, give me a Cheese story.
Yeah, we want to hear. We want to hear.
Cheese was okay, Cheese I like to be in front, He was a good runner. He liked to run. I love runners, so if you like to run me, we're gonna get along fine. He was a good runner, When you tell him to do run, he used to give no problem. He's on time. He know that if you're on time, you go run a little bit more. So he used to run. The bus drop you off by the shanty. He hauling us coming into the gym to make sure he on time. I ain't got nothing negative to say. I know you want something to go tease my boy with, but I ain't gonna let you do that. I'm looking out for you. I can't do that.
You're smart, Lockhart. You're smart. You're smart.
Once we close that gym door, it stays home, man. It stays home.
Right.
It stays home.
What about Terry? Terry, I grew up under Terry Richardson.
Terry Richardson.
Yeah, you and Coach Terry. Shot, he used to play like Iverson. He maybe play on that Shaky and Jarvis then.
Probably with Jarvis, yeah.
But I want to say Terry play under because Terry was there when Biko was there. Didn't you coach Biko?
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Biko, you used to run tractor?
I know, but
What Biko real name is?
I would have to
think he used to. I think he used to run track for real.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't sure about
I thought
that.
that he used to run track.
Macintosh? No.
No, I remember Biko last night.
I know you used to run track because I used to talk with Sip too. Rest in peace. Jeez, everybody dying. Yeah, with Sip, and he used to tell me about it.
So I have a question. What do you look for in a basketball player?
Oh. First, a good student. Well, he ain't gonna be a great student because if he ain't got the grades, he can't play. So you gotta start with that. I used to go look once I pick him a team, I go look to see if they're gonna be on the borderline, so they need some help, or if they're failing. And if they're close enough to bring them up, I could try to do that. But if might as well find out that first of all. Then dedication. They got to be dedicated because if I call a practice on a Saturday and you don't come, I got to discipline you. And even though I don't want to do it, I have to do it because then you're gonna look bad because there's Akeem, he ain't come practice and you don't do nothing. I wanted to be transparent as the people in politics like to say, transparent. So if I say you're gonna do this, everybody got to do it. You mentioned earlier that even though Tyrone was a star, you didn't know who was a star because everybody got you to the same. Because
right.
You're strong. If you're from 1 to 12, that's when you're strongest.
Right.
Who knows who's gonna get hurt? Akeem got his was the third or the fourth game he got hurt, and all our hopes was with he as far as district and going farther. But the other guys them had to step up, and we had a decent game. But he came back later on, but he wasn't himself. He became a left hand. Which one? You became a right hander or a left hander? Left hander.
It was left handed. Yeah, remember when I come back, everybody think of they thought it was left handed.
Because you used to shoot with the other hand, free throws with the other hand.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he used to do that.
You remember?
Nice.
So you remember we mentioned that early in the shows, Mumbai. If you want to learn how to shoot with your other hand or become ambidextric, break your strong hand.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You said that, Pam. Yeah, a lot of people. You as well. Yep, that's true.
Let me finish this thought before I forget it. Like I said, your grades and then you gotta want to you gotta love the game. Cause you could tell when a person just doing it for the girlfriend them. Like Pang used to say, tell me about. Pang, I keep picking on you, but you say everything that I used to be peeving about. You say everything. Yeah, because if you come in there to just cut style and show off,
oh man,
that ain't gonna work. So I look for a player who's dedicated and gonna want to give to the game. You don't gonna come and be a showboat and all that stuff because if I was just said, Akeem just mentioned earlier, a 3-pointer. You step on the line. Why would you do that? And you could take 2 or 4 feet closer and get easy 2-pointer. If you're gonna step that far back, take the next 6 inches back and make the 3-pointer. Otherwise, you need to sit down. If you're gonna dunk, you better make it because too much people have lose game because they dunk and miss. So so you want that kind of a person, and you look for the skills. But the way I used to coach, you don't have to be the very skilled. I know a number of my good players weren't very skillful, but they were hard-nosed, and I'll give a good example too. A hard-nosed and you're gonna do what your job is. Everybody got a job. I got a player, Zorro. At one time, OCM asked me to go a last minute thing to go to Puerto Rico for a junior Olympic team to play in Puerto Rico. So we got, like I tell you earlier, that they used to have a lot of politics back then. That's what I didn't like it. And everybody was punching and undercutting and all kind of backstabbing they used to do with this man. And we picked 6 players from Central and Zorro. Okay, he wasn't at Central at the time. And no, like, it had to be more than 6. It had to be like 7 or 8. 6, 7 with the rest of them and Zorro. Make it about 8 players. Because St. Thomas was to give us 4 players. So we didn't have the money, like I said, back then they had the money to move people back and forth, you know. So they were supposed to practice in St. Thomas, and then we go and meet them. We traveled to St. Thomas, the plane land, everybody then, the plane, we're waiting. We see nobody ain't coming on, nobody in there, you know, waiting. Long and short of the story, nobody showed up. So we got in Puerto Rico to play in a tournament, and I'll tell her about this tournament with 8 players from Central, all high school players, except for Zorro. Zorro, we lost all the games, but we were one of the most excited teams to come watch. We played Mexico, Cuba, Panama. Listen to the teams. Puerto Rico had Ramon Ramos, who went to Seton Hall, and then he ended up playing for the Portland Trails. But them kind of players, our little high school team were playing against. And all the other countries had the same type players that are playing with these big teams. Because it was, this was a team that you could be, I think 19 and I'm not sure. Okay, so you could have been in college and play. Zorro win the scoring champ. And a guy named Ivan Atatan, you guys used to call him Weasel. He won the rebounding champion. Now, Atatan was about 6'1", big as my, not my little finger, my index finger. And he won rebound. By the end of the last 2 games, he had to band up his back because them guys start pushing him in the back because the international rule. Now, remember what I'm saying? They start pushing him in the back and he's spraying it back, but he still wanted to play. I was a banning up. We talking about guys 6'10", 6'11", and by the time we reached about the 5th, the stats used to come out after every game. So everyone was seeing it. Who the hell is this Von Adetan? And who this hell is Keith Swanson? You know, the players don't check. You guys don't do it. You play for national. You check to see who is who.
Right.
And when you're gonna play, you're gonna look for that. Hey, you're still looking for a big player. You see a smile. Something is wrong. Some stats must be wrong. Okay, we didn't keep the stats. They did. But long and short of the story, he beat out all these big guys. Ramon Rivas was one of them. I think he came second. And he wasn't 6'2". But Weasel was a dog when it come to work. He used to work. Oh my God, his work ethic was tremendous. If you ask him to do touch the backboard 100 times, he do it 200 times. Put the ball in the back. That's how he was. So he played with his hand, and Zorro could tell you. Any of those guys who work with played with Weasel know. He never used to talk. He just grinned, and you run all day for you, back and forth, get a rebound, pitch it, or he came out scoring. So everyone had a job. You got your job. Zorro was a scorer. You couldn't stop him. They knew who he was. They found out who he was, but they couldn't stop him. Zorro was one of the best players of Virgin Islands. They couldn't stop him. And that is a true story.
It's amazing. Amazing. That's amazing, man. Big up to Zorro.
I get to know Weasel real good from playing with he played for Bow in my league. And Weasel used to warm up by going in the corner at Central Gym and tie a rope across from the bleachers to where the weight room was, like chest high. And Weasel used to jump over that to warm up.
I couldn't believe that.
Chest high, Mumba. Not my chest, his chest. And Weasel jumping over that. He ain't doing it back and forth. He gonna like pace back and forth. And when he ready, if you just take your eye off of him for 1 second, he don't hop over it. He gonna do that about 10 times. He is definitely a workhorse.
That's
He
a
used to run
walkout
the
for
he used to
real.
run the highway.
Yeah, so you got your players who gonna do day job. I can't shoot, but I gonna rebound. I gonna take you.
Yeah.
And then you had your scorers. You got. I had. Tyrone them could do anything. There was point guards. They could shoot. They could drive to the basket. They could do everything. They could handle the ball. You had Cobra. Cobra's a hell of a scorer. You know, you got your specialists then, and then you got defenders like Shaky. Shaky was a big time scorer, but Shaky wanted the ball. He loved that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So you got different things you look at. Look at the team. You got Andy. Andy was a big guy. He could rebound. Andy could have dribble, pass, and shoot. He could have do everything too. So you have certain players, and then you got people. You don't want players who go and moan and complain and all that stuff. You know, I need this, I need that. You ain't doing this. You got time for that. You got 12 guys. You got time for individual egos. You know, all of them can't go ego. All of them can't go ego. So, like I said, when we had tryouts, we used to have to. I always would be tryout for weeks. I used to get complained. You know, hey, you didn't get this guy enough chance. You don't get that. Blah 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 blah. But you guys went out there. I heard Rasan, my nephew, he talked about the same type thing. You go up there, you gotta try out, and you might not, even though you know in your head you better than Tom and the other players. It's the coach who got to make that decision, and you got to show him. But if you got 50 guys to try out, it's gonna take too long. So you got to. We used to go on the track, like you guys know. You go on the track and you do 6 laps, and you gotta do it in a certain time. And then I used to go there and run with them. If you're a big man and you can't beat me, I don't think you're ready to play. No, if you're a guard and you can't beat me, you're ready to play. I was an older guy at the time. So you have to find when. So if you can't do the running on the track, you didn't get a chance to go and show me how much you could dribble. You didn't get a chance to show how much you could pass. You didn't get a chance. You didn't get a chance. I might be wrong, but most time than not, because the guys didn't got the message, go and get in shape. Because we're not only you don't gonna have to shoot, you got to press. And in order to press, you have to be in condition. And if you're in condition, you can't press. And the first thing to go, you guys should know this, the first thing to go when you're tired is your what?
Legs.
No, your legs don't go, you can't tired, but your shot. When you're tired,
Oh yeah, he's gonna affect the shot. Yeah.
It's gonna affect your shot. So if you're a good shooter and you're tired, you're not helping me. Hasta luego. That's the way it is. So that's how we look at our team and get to those numbers. So it was tough. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions because you only could carry 12, sometimes 15. But you had a lot of guys. I know they'll probably be upset. They probably see me right now and they're probably still upset. But some of them understand. And some of them went on to do good things. They said, well, maybe basketball wasn't for me. And they went on to become a professional doing other things. And they appreciate it, you know. I pointed out to them. Everybody thinks they're a star when they're at that age. Everybody thinks they could play. You know, my sister used to tell me that a co-worker of mine was mad with her because her brother didn't get her son a pick. So I said, "What I mean, he didn't pick him on the team." But then she told me that, and it's only afterwards that I didn't know who he was and all that. But he was a small guy, and he was playing in her yard, put the basket against the side of the thing, and he used to shoot, and it looked good to her. So I guess she thought. That is playing basketball. Well, that's the type of some of the people. Everybody thinks their son and the daughter, well, not the daughter, the son is the best basketball player out. What they could
right.
See. So, and that's why you heard that comment that was made by my nephew. I ain't going to let that go and I ain't going to attack it. Rasan said that my mother told him and his brother don't ever go play for that coach Lockhart because she don't want to have to go to the school after it. I know never said something like that about me. I know I hear about that one.
Yeah.
That's why I start laughing because I remember. That's
that's why that kind of thing went out because I know I was a disciplinarian and she wanted to have to come to the school about me.
So Tyrone mentioned about if a player couldn't beat you in a 3-point shootout, they couldn't shoot 3-pointers in the game.
But Jesus, come on. I was an old guy. As a matter of fact, I got 16. I got 14 grandchildren, 6 great grandchildren. And if I could go on the court, I ain't had them at that time, but I had pretty close to it. if I could go on the court and I could make these 3-pointers and you want to take a 3, you don't think you're supposed to be able to beat me in a 3-pointer? That was one of my criteria. You couldn't do it. You can't play. You go inside until you could show me you could do it. You gotta show me.
Hey, Mumba, don't let him fool you now. He deadly. He deadly from outside. Don't let him fool you. He deadly.
He deadly, huh?
Deadly.
Show me. Don't wait until the game to try to do it. Show me in practice that you could do this. I had no problem with giving the green light. None at all. Because 3-point is more than 2. But if you go take 20 to make 2, that ain't gonna help me not at all. You're gonna get a chance.
But Vanessa, say your mother listening.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you in trouble. Yeah.
No, I'm not in trouble. Let me tell her about this one. Let me tell her about it. I'm in trouble anyway. I remember Genix because he was on there earlier. Genix, we grew up in right by 7 Flags. This you don't know this, but in town. Genix and I live a block from us. So the whole family, we all know each other growing up. So my mother and Genix them all know each other. So all of my mother was children except for me, her grandchildren, not great grand yet. Her grandchildren then played for Gina. All her grand and her grandchildren then played for Genix. But they know each other, right? So Genix is a disciplinarian like myself. Genix had a lot to do with how I used to approach coaching also, to be honest with you.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you about that too.
So let's say Rassan coming up to bat. Genix will give Rassan the bonsai. My mother understands, and she's saying, Rassan, hit the home run, hit the home run, hit the home run. So Rassan ain't know what to do now because his grandmother telling him hit the home run. Genix is the coach, and he telling him to bunt. So he'll pretend like he swing. So that's 1 strike. He pretend like he bunt. That's 2 strike. So now you ain't gonna bunt on the 3rd strike. So he could swing away now. And then when he come in, he used to go to the fence and say, "That's your grandmother is your coach," and point to Gwenny, my mother. And he said, "No. Well, the next time she coach you, you go stay and sit down next to her, okay?" So they go back in the business. Russell ain't tell her about that, but
he tell us about that one.
Yeah, she never used to come to my games because she didn't want to coach on the sideline.
That's a good way to segue into my next question. Playing at your basketball summer camp, that's how I met your son Randy.
Yeah.
And Risa and Renee and what your other nephew name? Is it Kareem?
Kareem, yeah.
Kareem. So yeah. that's how I met your kids and your niece and nephew. Yeah. So was it as being as strict as a coach with other people's kids? Were you hard on your kids with playing ball?
I gotta say yes. I ain't want to discriminate. So that wasn't just my mother saying that. I used to get from other places because they wanted to be me rough with. They know I was kind of rough. I was kind of rough. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
I was kind of rough. So my Randy didn't really want to play with the taller of the two. Ray wasn't really into that. He played baseball and he was a shot of the two of them. But Randy got in, used to run track, but he used to, I heard he was pretty fast. Mm-hmm. But he didn't want to run for Sip. Because Sip used to do that. Randy was in a different league, a different way of thinking. But no, they didn't play basketball. They played on their own. Let's put it that way.
Right.
They played on their own.
Well, Randy used to play in different leagues, like around, because I play Randy in a few other leagues other than
he played
outside.
In the leagues,
yeah. Randy were pretty good. Randy could have shoot. Randy had a deadly jump shot. You couldn't leave Randy open.
Yeah. Well, they learned from the camps. We had, besides Timmy, Rajabel used to be there. I don't know if you guys know Tumbi. Tumbi is Rajabel's sister.
Yeah.
The father used to bring, as a matter of fact, no, I didn't work it. Coach named Wanda Fuller used to do tennis. And I used to drop Risa and Randy to Tumbi, which is Rajabel's sister, Rajabel, to her summer camp by Lovali. Not Lovali. I forgot his summer camp. She used to have that tennis thing back there. I used to drop them there, and then they'll come. We used to take turns, and then Roger will bring them to the gym, and then I would drop because Roger them used to live in Wim, and because we are living in Wim, I used to drop them home. But they all used to play tennis. Roger Bellem used to play tennis first, him and his sister, and only after the hurricane and stuff like that, he went and he went to high school in Florida, I think. I mean, South Florida. He got bigger because he was a chubby guy. He wasn't a tall guy, to be honest with you. But he used to come to the camp, same as Hugh, not Hugh. Hugh used to be there too. Yeah, Craig Jr.
Right.
I remember, but let me finish with Roger them and Roger, of course, went on to play for the 76ers and several other teams afterward. And Tumbi went on and played for University of Miami.
Miami.
No, Miami or no, I lied. No, it wasn't Miami. It was Florida State or
Florida.
Florida.
Basketball player at Florida, yeah. But they started down there, and but Roger grew 6'5", 6'6". But the same thing with Craig. Craig was a little guy, man. And when I saw Craig again, I stood for him as Peps with him. He was like 6'8", man. When he left my camp, he was a little guy, but he grew a lot. So yeah, they all came and they run through the same drills. The little kids used to have to do it, dribble the ball down the court,
right,
back and forth, pass, skip. I had the ropes them, skip. They had to do it. The little kids had to do it. Nobody get except. There was no exceptions. You come to the camp, you're gonna walk.
One thing I like about the summer camps is we would play other summer camps. We play the boys club in West. We play the boys club in East.
Yeah.
We used to play other summer camps. Those used to be the best days. We used to get excited for them days. And then I remember going like places like pool and stuff, but I don't remember doing it for basketball for the basketball camp. We did go to the pool and stuff.
No, I don't think we used to go to the pool.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
We stuck with basketball. After a while, when I first started, it was just the bigger. I used to just do it. We never used to get paid or anything like that at first, and it was just my players, and then the other high school guys from the other high school used to come for the first couple of years, and then we got a grant, and that's when we had to go by certain rules, and the pool would have been the insurance wouldn't have covered the pool. If it was a basketball camp, they wouldn't have covered it, and that's why we didn't go. We just go to anything that deal with basketball. We'll deal with basketball.
Yeah, those used to be the days, man. I wish they would have more stuff like that for the kids because
that's the same that we talk. You gotta have something for them to do. Come on,
man. That was very pivotal for me because I met a lot of people and grow friendships from, especially in the basketball world, moving on from there. Because I did that when I was younger. I probably was like about 12, 13, 14, maybe even younger than that. But that played a big role.
Yep. I enjoy doing that, and what would happen is it provided a job for the high school guys who came back. Some that went to college and came back. Some was in high school, and I used to make them my counselors and all that stuff. Rest in peace again, Eddie Gardner. He used to work with us. I used to have a lot of people working there. A lot of people.
Yeah. I remember Timmy and Tyrone was our Felicia was our counselor when I was
Felicia.
I don't know. Yeah. Felicia Jane. Yeah. I remember all of them being our counselor.
Of course, we had girls. I mentioned girls, but we had girls too. Yeah. The girls on the team used to be there.
It used to be real. We used to have a lot of fun too. A lot of fun.
A lot of people made a lot of friends because at that time, we used to have a lot of East-West business going on, but we had people from East coming there and all over the island. So you meet there. Come on, with a small island.
Right.
We got to, we're so isolated that you can't be friends with people from another because you got family. I don't believe in this East-West ignorance that I don't hear going on here. Because I got first cousin in East. I got brother that live in Christiansted. Why going to interact with you guys live in East? And vice versa, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's so crazy. And you don't know who is your family. We don't know all our family.
I meant to ask you. You say your parents, either your grandparents or your parents got a last name Hodge.
Yes.
Where they from?
Here.
They're from here? Okay. You ain't got no family from Angola?
I don't know, probably. My great-grandmother was from St. Kitts. My great-grandfather was going to need help. I think one was from St. Kitts and one was from Nevis, vice versa. Barnes. My family, Knuckles and Alema is my family. They live in Christiansted, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, my father is Jim Lockhart from Letty Lockhart. Those are anybody, you guys who know about horse racing, you know she's a big horse fan, a big horse person. She's my sister. And we have my family's the Barnes, the Lockharts, the Acoys. I said Barnes?
Yeah, you
It's a
said Barnes.
Barnes. Yeah.
My grandmother's a Barnes. The Lee. My mother is a Lee. You know, and they're all over the place.
Okay. Your mother said
said
no people from Angola.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what she said?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
she
she
said
said.
no. Yeah.
That's where my Hajj come from, Angola.
Oh, that's right. You're Hajj. Yes.
Yeah.
Hajj. And strangely enough, my sister, her name is Violet Hajj. She married to a Hajj in Totola. Well, she live in Totola now. She got dual citizenship, but she's in Totola now. She's from St. Thomas. But her name is Violet Hajj. So your family then is Hajj in Totola too.
Yeah, because
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I had a brother that may he rest in peace. He used to live there in Tatola. So I believe we got a few family members over there. But what my people from Angola used to do, a lot of people from Angola that do this, matter of fact, is when the women pregnant, they'll come over to St. Thomas and have the kids there so they could bond with that bond as a US citizen and then go back and raise them in Angola.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's time to see if you don't seem like you just shy away from hurting feelings.
You reading my mind. Pang. I was just about to ask that too.
What's your favorite team that you ever coach? What's your most favorite team that you ever coach, if you have one?
That's a lot of them. I gotta say a lot of them. You know one or two. Saying not favorite.
Right.
You got a lot of them. Believe that.
I could definitely believe that, because you're the type of coach that everybody would want to play for, and they would do their best to play for you. I don't think people would try you with not playing hard.
No,
that definitely won't be happening.
I guess if I have to say the one that my first team will have to probably be it, you know, because you're talking about your first time playing, being a head coach on a high school level, and the team was the second team for the school, and you win that team, which was like Shaky and Elvis Harvey and those guys. No, that wasn't expected, but I had a lot of good teams. Fortunately, I had a lot of good players. Fortunately, and I enjoyed coaching all of them. Coaching is a stressful job. If I lose a game by 1 or 2 points, I mean, I'm livid. I don't sleep at night. But I had good teams here in the Virgin Islands. I had good teams in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Very good teams, very good players. So I can't say I can't pin down one team.
What was coaching Central, in the Virgin Islands, and then transitioning to Florida? What was the biggest adjustment as far as coaching?
It was easier.
It was easier?
I'm gonna tell you why. Just like we spoke earlier, the stuff that you're given. When I went to Florida, I had a walkie-talkie. If something happened to a kid, I press a button, and within a minute, I had somebody there to take care of him. Right? I've had people injured here. I mean, major injuries. I got to call the ambulance, and I ain't gonna send them out to you guys. That was one major thing. I had the support staff, more so than I did here. I had to get used to this business about having these AAU teams. I'm accustomed to run my own program, and now I got to rely some of these guys already was on teams. And when I looking for them in the summer, they got into their team. I had to get used to that. And you can't get vexed with them because they're doing that. And that's the way of, I said we needed it and they're doing it. So I can't be mad. So we sometimes start out in the summer with a lot of kids and then they go play AAU ball, they end up with little or nothing. And I got 3 or 4 coaches coming out there. So we had to cut it short. And that didn't last too long unless we had some specific people needed to work out, we'll come with them. And the other thing is, the difference between down here and up there. When I first got there, the school was predominantly white. That was a big adjustment. Central was more than predominantly black. That was a big adjustment. The neighborhood got involved tremendously. Here we had a few. I'll bring up Sandra again. Sandra was one of the faithful, no matter how Central she did it, But I get a lot of people say Sandra, but I'd always call her name. Always. But the family members the parents used to come out more than we do in here. Not all of them, but a lot. And I used to go in the community. I remember when I first got there, we got a place called Carver Ranches. It's a mile square foot, square acre, 1 mile square city called Carver Ranches. Most of the best, in my opinion, it was black, by the way. Most of I was told the history about Carver Ranches. Most of the people that will come from the Bahamas and they settled there. So they were black. And the athletes were very, very good. However, they were on the bad side, right? So I went out into the community and they thought I was crazy. Oh, you got to Carver Ranches, I say, I come from St. Croix, I custom to this, I went to the church, meet the people so that they could come. And then the players start coming and do the respect that you got because you did that extra thing. It wasn't from my school. They didn't used to go over there. They stayed away from that area. I went over there and I met them. And some of the good players used to come from there. And the other thing is, the league we used to play because of the size of the area, we used to play much more games. And I like that. Much more games, much more teams. You see teams twice, you see different teams. The referee, here you see the same referees every time you go. Up there, you see a different referee, different referees. Akeem, you can attest to that. Because some of them were good, and some of them was really, really bad, and some of them were very biased. I ran into a couple of them. I had one of my players was suspended, and everyone, we had even the camera. At that time, we used to tape the game. We had the camera on the incident, but it was very structured. The referee association, all that stuff was very structured. If a referee says something, it goes a long way. And this guy, Zomari Swanson, most of you guys probably know him. He plays for me too.
Yeah.
Zomari was a little headish, but we had him under control doing what he's supposed to do, and a very, very good player. And they all know it. And Akeem will tell you something else about what they do to Akeem, your brother. And it was a tight game at White School. And the referee made a call from the opposite coach and said that it was a foul. And all Zomari was, no foul, like that. He said he run come and gave him a tech. And when he gave a tech, Zomari's like this, and we know Zomari's kind of headish. So we went and got him. Tyrone went and got him. The referee went to the thing and said he has to leave the gym because he attacked me. So wait a minute, wait, hold up. It was right in front of the half court with all of us there. When did he come next to you? And do you know that by the next morning I got calling into the principal office because he sent a thing to the state of Florida, the referees association, blah, 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 the headquarters, that this guy have to be suspended for 6 weeks because he approached the referee, looked to attack the referee. So they asked what's our response. I tell him it didn't happen. I could set up the guy so standing right there. I know he didn't, and I know he didn't. And we had the tape showing that, and they didn't take it. They suspended for 6 weeks. So
wow,
that's
some of them
crazy.
ref we don't got bad ref here. We got bad ref up there too. You got bad ref up there too. But
Yeah.
basically, that was the difference. That was a change. The difference
Wow.
in the coaching up here
I
and
know,
coaching up.
I know. Mumba actually like the difference in coaching, in the VI to in Florida. What's the difference you think when you're looking like the players that you coach in the VI compared to the players in the States? Like what's the biggest differences you think between the two?
Good question.
We had natural athletes. Here we have natural athletes. And I think to me that was the biggest I don't know if you call it advantage. Those guys, they know more. They because they came up in formal basketball and we came up playing basketball. They had the fundamental down.
Yeah.
But we were more natural athletes. They had the fundamental because they went through the AAUs, like I tell you. They know all of the drills. I heard one of you guys talk sometime back about when they call these type of player, this kind of drill, do the this, do the that. If you don't know what it is, you're there a little behind. So them guys up there used to it. I never used to do all that stuff. I mean, Tyrone them used to run most of the practice, and when I got specific play, Tyrone used to call it. Cause I go save my voice for singing. But anyhow,
Guy.
no, what happened? My voice used to start going. I used to yell a lot. And I started having problems down here. And I had to, you gotta let them guys do something. The Tyrone them used to do. I had a lot of assistant coaches, and I wasn't I man type. I used to let my coach them do their job.
Wait, but let me jump in real quick, Pang, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind. So you have a lot of former players in the chat, right? And they keep talking about your one of your famous sayings about telling what you call them soft like wet conflicts.
When
Oh,
as long as I am, you're gonna pick up a lot of stuff, and
hey.
I did, that I heard that from a coach one time, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe Coach Pratt. I got it from Coach Pratt, and he told this coach, oh my God, I didn't know he didn't tell a guy that, but then I used it after that. It was at a game, and the guy was kind of on the soft side, and he didn't know what he asked him to do. And he went up to the kid in his face, man, and he said, I can't believe that you're as soft as wet cornflakes, man. So I think I got it from a guy named Coach Pratt, and I used it a couple of times after that. I had a couple other things I got from different people, and I used to, when the gym door closed, I like fun. I could tell you some stuff that we used to say and joke around in. And when it's serious, it's serious. I joke, but when it's serious, it's serious.
Yeah.
I like a good laugh.
I got two questions. I got my question, and I gonna pose a question from somebody in the chat. My question was related to you talking about the difference between coaching in Florida and home. Like, what was the decision in moving to Florida to go and coach, or were you recruited to come to Florida and coach, or
No.
Okay.
No, I had life changes and things went on, and I decided to move to Florida, and that's basically it. And when I was looking for a job, you have to work, and I went to this school, and they'll check your records. And when I went in, the principal called me, and she said, "I see Coach Lockhart." I said, "Yeah," because my thing is Raymond Lockhart. I am the coach on it. And she said, "I noticed that you used to coach in the Virgin Islands, and you had some very good teams and blah, 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 and good success," I said. And the team wasn't doing very good when I got there. They had a coach, and I think they had won 3 games in the last 2 years or something. It wasn't doing good, and there used to be a lot of fights and all that stuff. A lot of the players that came from Carver Ranches, like I was telling you about, they were good players, but they always getting fights, so they kicked them out of the league and all that stuff. So she said, would you consider coaching? I said, well, is the job going to come with it? And she said, yes, we got a job already. But would you? I said, sure, I'll do it. And that's how I got into coaching there. It wasn't that I applied for it. She came up, and then in Florida, the principals move every 3 years, I think, 3 or 4 years. Some stay a little longer. But then the next principal will come, and they could bring their own coach, which one have done that. Don't get me wrong. And it goes on and on and on like that. But several of the principals came in and asked me to be the coach. I didn't have any problem with it, even if they did or they didn't. Because each year you resign basically, and the next year you got to start all over again. But in order to have a smooth transition, they usually like to keep the coach for a while. That's why it was there so long.
Gotcha. I wanted to know that based on people, anybody who want to go into coaching, and like how was your experience getting into coaching? But I can pose a question from the Zoro mentioned this in his interview. How was playing against Zoro when he was with your central team when he was an Arta team?
Oh, like I said, just like with Tyrone in Elena and them schools, if you're the top dog, you're going to get a lot of attention. So you're going to get to do exactly what you want to do. So basically, that's how we went with Zoro. I mean, you're going to get your points, but nobody's going to get no poor thing.
So they had a chance, even though that he was the man. They had a chance.
They had no chance. They had no chance. They had no chance. They had no chance.
And then there is a Curtis. Hopefully I pronounced your last name right. Prevost. You remember Curtis Prevost?
Yeah.
He wants you to talk about his 1982 team, and how was that coaching them?
What? 1982? I can't remember 1995. I remember 1982. Akeem, I can't remember what thing you. I can't remember what year you played. Let's wait, and that's recent. Let's wait. My memory ain't what I got. That kind of thing where forgetfulness is called Alzheimer's. I'm gonna call it Alzheimer's. I call it Alzheimer's. That's what I got. I can't remember going back to here and go bring something. I had to go call people to find out. Hey, by the way, what year that Dean Haywood play for me? And then I'll call my brother, one of them, Richie was which was Dean Haywood. My brother was Dean Haywood, roommate in college. Because he was my manager when he was here in school. Who used to play the coach, the team with Dean and them, and then he'll tell me because he had to write their name down all the time in the book. I don't remember these things. Sometimes I don't mix up the teams on the States on the team down here.
And Dean sent a message. Max sent a message to his wife that he beat you in a 3-point shootout before.
He tried a lot, but main thing he had win, And Dean was good. He get a red light, but he might have beat me once out about 100 maybe. He might have win one, yeah. The man might have win one, yeah. He might have win one, but out of a lot.
That's one thing that always stand out for me with watching Mac play is his size and how much of a great shooter he is, Mr.
Yes, listen.
Yeah, great shooter for real. Great shooter.
How was coaching him?
Mac, good. Mac came with a whole entourage behind him when he had a game. So you know that the whole stuff already coming. But Mac was a great player and coachable, which is hard to be coachable. You got somebody just like how my mother used to be in the thing with Genix. I want to tell you what to do and what not to do, and I got to, hey, that ain't gonna happen. I get that from Genix. That ain't gonna happen. But Dean was a great player, coachable and very productive. Very productive.
One thing, and I know I'm going back a little bit. One thing I wanted to mention while you were talking about O.C. Richards, and it's good to hear one of his peers talk about him because I think O.C. do get a bad rep in the VA as far as him recruiting the players. I think most of us maybe had bad run-ins with him when we first got on the team. But once you get to understand Uzi methods or even get to know Uzi as a person, you get to respect Uzi and know that the man is very smart. He knows what he's doing.
He had to win.
And he make a lot of good decisions with picking the team. And a lot of times he don't pick the teams because we all had to try out. He to pick players to make the team. And it's just so happened that a lot of these men from stateside make the team. But they have had plenty time when stateside people have came and went back on the first thing smoking because now they couldn't cut it. Right.
They didn't cut it.
Every year we see one every year. That's true.
It wasn't that he always recruiting these players because they had to throw just like us. You know what I mean? So, but it's good to hear someone from one of his peers talk about him, and because Uzi deserve a lot of credit for the success that the national team they have now. He deserve a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, like I said, because of my friendship with Uzi from way back when, Budgrass and all of them things, because he lived far from me, West Ida, and his brother, Rongby, Tehran, I knew a lot of the workings. And Bomba gonna cover something now that we talk about.
Yeah.
When Uzi had took over, they having a what the coach was, my coach name, Tevesta Anderson. Tevesta had called me to they had a meeting one time, and he called me and he asked me, "Hey, Lockhart, hey, why don't you come and help us? Be one of my assistants." And he offered, and I turned it down, just like I did a couple of times because he asked me one-on-ones. And I don't know if it's because of Uzi asking him to reach out to me or what, but I had my own program running. I'm a tunnel vision guy. I gonna take care of this. I can't do like this, And I was supportive. Anything they needed, I'd be there for them. Open the gym, do whatever need to be done, I would do it. But I was the one that decided I didn't want to go that route. I didn't want to go that route, and I didn't. But Uzi them took like you just said about a lot of, and he reached out to a lot of players that was on the Virgin Island. He helped him and his brother helped them, and the organization helped them get. Because I remember, and Oscar, I will forget Oscar's whole name. Oscar used to play to a school not far from us. This is a story too. Named Boyd Anderson, and Ronnie called and tell me about him, and I said, "Yeah, we don't play against him." So myself and Raymond Milligan, I don't know if Tyrone was there. We went to see him play. Hey, yeah, this dude good, man. This dude good. But we didn't know his people were from down here. His mother, I think, was from down here. So we went and introduced ourselves, and the coach knew us. So he started, coaches up there that are keeping an eye on the players.
Right.
Trying to steal them.
Right.
And a lot of the private school will steal the public school players, We could talk about that later. Anyhow,
yeah, we get one up there.
So the coach took an attitude, and we noticed that the next time we went to see him play, and we reported that he's a good player. He's a good player, and the coach thought that that's what we wanted, and we just explained to his mother that was not our intention. Because of his lineage down here, that he have connection, or he could play for the national team and get some exposure. So it was like a hands off. Well, I don't know if I like the idea. What I'm gonna do for him, and I'm gonna put him in. And she wanted a lot. To be honest with you, this lady wanted a lot. What? We trying to help. Well, there I was just being facilitating this thing. Long and short of the story, when he finished high school, college, high school. And he went to college. He had no other. Nobody wasn't reaching out for him at NBA, overseas. None of that. And it was Uzi them pulled him and got him to play, and he became a big star overseas too, just like Trimmerham them. He got to play with a lot of league. He played with the VI team too, but he also got his exposure to play in those. And he had some problems with the parents, with the mother, And that's not just down here. That was up there too. They had their hands full, man. They had their hands full. You got to give them kudos for what they have done. Him and his brother, and the rest of the organization for how far they brought this thing, because they have no backing. I'm afraid to keep saying it. They have no backing from the government, as far as I'm concerned. The little bit of money they give them is pittance from where they other countries. Because remember now, you guys played. You ain't playing against little islands. You're playing against countries. Jamaica. You're playing against sometimes the United States. You're playing against Panama, Puerto Rico, Venezuela. These are countries, very, very large countries. They don't just say, "Hey, take what you want," and they give to them. Puerto Rico, their national team, they go and anything and everything they want. They ask for nothing. We got to ask, could I get some money to pay the guys them to eat? They got to beg for everything, and that should not happen. And I couldn't take that.
I remember I had a player that played in college with me. He never played on the team. He didn't stay long enough to play. I remember him telling me of his experience. He played for Dominican Republic, And I remember telling him, because we met up, I don't remember where we were. I think we were in Mexico and we met up there. And he was telling me about his experience and how much they paid him to play and how long they've been practicing before they came
That's
here.
a good key.
And that is unheard of for us
Unheard
because
of. Yes.
our federation don't put forth that money where that funding where we could be like that, where
Right.
UCDM could bring us a month, 2 months in advance, and we could practice and get the cohesiveness going, and we don't have the facilities and all these things, and it's just tough. And then we have to go and play teams that have been practicing for months. We got to go after 2 weeks of practicing to go and try and beat these teams and still giving them a run for their money.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because you said some of the team, all the teams them except for us.
Right. Matter of fact,
all the teams them except for us to practice extensively before they start playing. We don't get 2 weeks because that's all we could afford. 2 weeks maybe. And then we can go play this team and expect, and then when we come back and you win, then are you in shit, are you in this, are you in that, are you that. But they know that the people just want to see one thing: you win or you lose.
lose.
They don't want to hear nothing else. But that was tough, and that's why I said we got good athletes, and for you guys to do that, what you spoke about is that it's I mean it's unheard of to play all these countries. I ain't talking about Ireland, like I said, to play these countries, compete against these countries. These countries producing players that are going to the NBA and all of the major colleges, and those that's the people that you guys have to play against.
Right. And a lot of these countries, they also to put into their funding to bring a fan base. Like
Yes.
they travel with their fans.
With the fans,
You know, and that's their government put forth in that money for that to happen. So
Yep.
one thing. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mumbai. Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I have had a chance to spend good time. Unfortunately, Ronnie spent some of his last weeks here in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah,
and
I know that. Yeah.
I get to spend some time where we used to travel around and drive around and go and watch like basketball games, like, because he was always cooped up in the in the hospital or at home because he had buy a house out there. Mm-hmm. So he used to come and get me, and we used to drive around and go watch high school game, middle school game, and and he used to I did not know be playing for the basketball national team for so long. I did not know Ronnie played basketball.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Good too. Yes.
And he had such high praises of you. Like he talked about you well and telling me some of the stories where he and Mac used to play and I want to say oh my God, what's the Rasta man that jump high? Oh my God. Say name again. All, yeah.
All Stanley.
I think it's all Stanley. Yeah.
Frank Grove. All Stanley.
No, not Natty.
Gunman.
Gunman. I think that's what he mentioned. Gunman.
Dinos,
and he was just telling me stories, and I was just so impressed with some of the stuff Ronnie was saying. Because I didn't know he played ball. Like, so give me some Ronnie stories. Like, how was it coaching Ronnie, and what type of player he was? May he rest in peace.
He was a hard-nosed player. Teran was a hard-nosed player. I could tell you that. Very hard-nosed. He played a lot of defense. He could have scored, but defense, I think, is where made his way on the team. And he was wrong. A lot of guys who are, like I said, they all know their role and they did it well. Ronnie know a lot about the game because he been wrong, he brought up. So he knew a lot about the game, and a lot of people that play the game but don't know the game. Ronnie know the game. Ronnie knew the game, and you're saying that he was. When Ronnie did back and forth, he couldn't make the whole run. He used to stop by my place up in Florida and stay there and catch himself, and then he used to stay by. We became a very good friend, very close. I was at his wedding and everything. But rest in peace. Yeah, that's the kind of players. But let's go back to Gunman. They got games and things that you'll stand out in your mind. We brought this team from was it Oak Hill Academy? I can't remember which one. I forgot. Somebody probably gonna tell you, but it was a top team from the States, and everybody was, oh, they're gonna kick out your ass and da 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 da. And the game started out, Jim packed. I was standing up. I know I was standing up. And Gunman is about 5'8", 5'9", maybe. And Gunman went up with two hands and these two big dudes and dunked the ball. And I think it's either late first quarter, second quarter. That stand out in my mind. Because everybody in the gym, including me, I think I jumped a little bit too. Everybody in the gym was overwhelmed with what they just said. And that stands out. We lost the game, but I think we win the game because of that one dunk that he did. I don't see him all the time. We don't see each other all the time. I don't always remember that. And I always remember that. Gunman.
Yeah, man. Gunman could have joined. He brother too. Wade Norse. Wade Norse could jump to. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like Akeem and Wakeem, two leapers.
That's true too.
Genes.
Yeah.
The genes. Somebody tell me your father could have jumped to Akeem. I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody
I hear stories from my father. Of course,
I hear father. I hear stories. I hear stories. Yeah. I hear father could have jumped to. So I said,
Grove man, you know them Grove man used to jump out the gym.
That's true. That is
Hall
true.
and Wayne Pulse.
Yeah. So we have a question for Rasan Smith. Did any other basketball coaches have an influence on your coaching style?
Danny Cornelius. I played for him and I coached under him. John Thompson, for sure. I like all of Georgetown in the prime, the heydays. I like his dogmatic way of going after his players. You know, make them get everything they can. I would like how he coached. He ain't taking nothing from nobody. He ain't backing up, and I know he went through a lot of stuff too. And locally, I said G-Nix. And that's about it.
So we're gonna get a little now I won't say political, but being with the state of the country now, where we're dealing with this COVID-19, how are you dealing with COVID-19 in St. Croix?
I think in this room right here, so lock up. I take everybody else, man. I go out, put my mask, go to the gas station, go to the grocery store, and I come home. Go to your family and say hello, you know, and come home. You gotta do it. You gotta do what you gotta do. We can't continue to let this thing go like this. We can't. We have to do this. It's gonna be here for a while. We gotta get used to it. It's the new norm. We gotta get used to it.
Yeah.
We gotta get used to it. Yeah. You can't go keep going. Listen to this crazy man and as who running the country and think that you could do what he's doing. You know, he got all kind of people looking out for him. We don't. You gotta look out for yourself.
Right. Yeah. He done made a comment about like kids are not doing homeschooling like they did last year. He opening up all the schools.
Yeah, so
that's insane.
We're going on a very, very, very rocky road because he's the president of the United States, and some of the things I'm hearing, I'm like, I'm astonished. I can't believe this is going on. I just can't believe it. What is crazy. And I'm not by myself. Everybody saying the same thing. Let's go to a positive note. I want that one.
So I have
He don't piss me off. I'll be honest with you. They're probably gonna come and talk to me, call me phone. He don't piss me off.
I have a question for you, right? And kind of touch on G-Nix a little bit because we had him on the last episode, and I'm hearing you talk and stuff. You know, I play for G-Nix, so. You know, it seems like you guys is like the same person. It seems like, you know, but yeah, but kind of touch on your relationship. You know, your friendship with him. You know, your relationship. You know, outside of sports.
I like you said, I respect G-Nix to the fullest. I know him as a little boy. Well, he know me as a little boy. We didn't live. My mother and my whole family. They didn't live far from them, so he knows me as a little boy. Me and my whole family. And I respect him, and you know, he as a matter of fact, sometime when I was in the States, he used to call me and Milligan with some of his players that he wanted to move around, and we will reach out to him when he comes to the States. When he had, we will go look for him and take him out and all that stuff. So you know, G-Nix is a person I look up to from the time I was a very small guy, and his coaching style is everybody know that he's a no-nonsense guy. You know, he ain't gonna yell at you. I yell. He don't yell that much. He gonna, talk in the soft voice. But a lot of his coaching style, I would say, is from me. You're gonna have to work and you're gonna drill till you get it right. I believe in that. You got to get it right. You can't just do it 2 times and then you stop. You keep doing drills till you get it right. Some of them might run a whole practice to try to get one thing in tongue in some people's head. Not a chemo, because chemo good. I know how to do
that. That's good.
But I had a few of them had to do that. And if you're, like I say, you're weakest, you're as strong as your weakest link. And sometimes Akeem get fouled out, Joaquim get fouled out, Zomari get fouled out. You're down to your last 5 is your 12, 11, 10, and it's a championship game. What we're gonna do? You got to get them prepared to carry that strain. So I believe in making sure everybody know what it's supposed to do.
Lock, that's one thing I wish when I've been in Florida. I wish I had more VI man on the team, man. Like if I could have just put myself in a different era, I would have loved to play with like Mike, my brother, Zamari, Glenn. If we had
that was it. It was over. It was over. It was over, Akeem. It was over.
Yeah.
If I would have, you put that group you just called there, it was over. It was over. People are still asking me about all these guys, man. They're just still asking about you guys. But you were by yourself.
That's the one thing I wanted, man. I wanted to get a state championship. And when I broke my wrist, I never forget just the look just the feeling I had. When I broke my wrist, I've been on the ground, you come out, you grab my hand, and when you see my hand,
saw it.
I never forget the look in your face.
I saw it.
I swear,
a lot of injuries.
From that moment, I thought it was over. I thought I thought my career was over. But we come back that season.
I've seen a lot of injuries, I know when something is serious and when something is serious and when it's just an injury. I remember fixing up some people. I ain't calling no name. I ain't saying what I did, but I fixed up some people because I know it wasn't bad enough for them not to play and put them back on the court. But I know when I saw that, I said, Carl, and they all came and it's like he took the air when it happened. Because everybody was hyped when this man came there. Everybody, they heard about it. The people in the community heard. Gym was packed, man. Packed. It was a good game. It was Cooper City. Anyhow, I forget the game.
Cooper City. I don't forget.
It was Cooper City, yeah. And it took the air out of the game. I can't remember. Did we win the game after that? I can't remember. I don't even remember.
We were up. We were up, and that was my main concern when my team
took the air out of the gym.
That was my first question.
It took the air out of the gym when he got hurt. Everybody, I didn't feel like coaching no more. I mean, people didn't care like watching the game no more.
You told me that y'all lost Mumba and Mountain, and then y'all met them in the at State, and there's the one that knocked out the same team knocked out you to State.
We met them in the second round in the playoffs, and they knocked
in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, playoffs.
Not State in playoffs.
I want to beat them. I wanted them. That's the team I wanted to.
We have beat them.
Yeah.
I forget who beat us after that though.
No, Lockhart, we lose to them, man. We lose to them, man. That was the second round. We played them at a house, and they beat we.
Oh, they did beat us? See, I forget.
Yeah, trust me, that was my last game of my high school career, so.
Oh, I can't remember.
I still remember that day.
I don't remember.
I can imagine.
I don't remember.
I can imagine, bro.
I don't remember those games I lost. I hardly remember the game that I win. I don't remember the game that I lost. For sure. I know it was a close game. It had to have been a close game.
Yeah.
We have a question here from Cass Judge. I'm not sure if you mentioned it. You might have mentioned it earlier too, but I'll ask it still. Did Central High play in any tournaments in the U.S.?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, several. Oh, tournaments.
Yeah, basketball tournaments.
Okay, no. They don't. No. We played in invitational games, not tournaments. No.
Okay.
When you say invitational game, like a traveling team, like you made more than one trips to the United States in one season?
No, it's usually one into the United States. No, it wasn't. No more than one trip to the States in a season. We went to Puerto Rico and St. Thomas, but St. Thomas and Puerto Rico a couple of times. But the States is not like not more than once. No, we play different schools in the area because we had to provide our own transportation. So.
All right.
You drive from, like I said, our drive to go to Haines City to come back to Orlando, or to drive from Columbus, Georgia to go to Atlanta. That's Columbus. Auburn, Alabama was about an hour drive from Atlanta, hour and a half drive from Atlanta, like that. Yeah.
Any other viewers' question, Mumba?
No. Well, Kerrion Shepherd asked earlier who was Central High School rival.
Who? Who's wax?
Kerrion Shepherd.
Tegan, younger sister.
Tiga.
Yeah.
It sounded like you said Corwin. Kevin Shepherd. I used to hear about him from Jarvis too. One of Jarvis' favorite players. I never told him that, but yes, rest in peace. Jarvis used to talk about him a lot. Tegan. Anyhow, who was what now?
Central High School's rival.
Yeah, done.
Charlotte Amali and Eudora Ken.
One of
We had none in St. Croix.
one of my friends was telling me about his cousins. He's from St. Thomas. He was telling me about his cousins. Do you remember a set of twins? Gary and I can't remember the other name. You ever played against a set of twins from St. Thomas that they were real good? Back then, this was before like maybe probably a little before Tyrone them time.
Off the top of my head now, Tyrone gonna go remind me about that one. No, not off.
I'm trying to see if
I never used to follow the players them from over that much. Very few players that I followed from St. Thomas.
Oh, Ian and Gary was the name. Ian and Gary. I don't know the last name. He didn't give me the last name, but they play for Eudora Ken.
Ian and Gary. Offhand, I can't remember. I'd be lying if I say I did. I can't remember. Ian and Gary.
Do you remember playing against Calvert White?
Yeah.
How was playing against Calvert White?
He was a big time player though. He was a big time player at the time.
What type of strategies you used to use for Calvert?
He played for Charlotte Mali, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the name, and I remember after he became well known.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as playing him in the game, I can't remember all of that good stuff. To give you an honest blow by blow.
Right.
I could hardly remember any of those guys back then. My memory's going.
So I have a question, and this maybe you might remember, maybe not, because you just mentioned that your memory is going. It was us. Ask him about the last inter-island team in 1984 he coached in Iraq.
I know we win. We used when the inter-island meet first started, St. Thomas and basketball was the game in town, and they used to win. And when I took over, and we started going, I think we lost the first one. I can't remember, but after that it was like that was a given. Either regardless of here or there, we used to win. So I would say we won. He might have to correct me and say we didn't, but more than likely we won.
So
have to correct me.
We have some guys in the chat. Curtis asks, Lockhart, you remember when we played that school which featured Graham? He then went on to play at Georgetown.
Georgetown, yes. He was a big name at the time, and he came down to play with what team did he play with? Spingarn. I forgot the name of the team. I think it's Spingarn. But he was a big name in the United States at that time because he was projected to Georgetown, which was a big university.
Yeah.
And he was the biggest guy on the floor, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And he was a beast too. I mean, I followed him too. I followed him through because I used to follow John Thompson. And he was a beast in high school. I hear you guys saying man child. He was a man child.
Yeah,
he was a handful. He was a handful. We bounced off for him a couple of times. Yes.
We have another sorry. We have another question here. What type of player was Andrew Fleming, aka Bonehead?
Bonehead. He was a flyer, a sky flyer. He used to drive through the lane and put the ball down on people's head. He was a flyer. Andrew Fleming. Bonehead.
Yeah, Bonehead was one of my inspiration in playing ball too.
He used to fly.
Yeah.
I'm happy to remember because you call him name now that coming back to me. Yeah,
man.
I see these guys. I see some of these guys in I've been gone 25 years, maybe 25, 26 years.
One
Yeah.
of
So,
one
a
of
lot of
one
these
of
guys.
one of your former players is my brother-in-law. What about Theodore Weeks, Lampy?
Taylor Weeks with his body size used to amaze me. He was wide as a door, first of all. And he was short as, I don't know, probably under my chin. And I was only about 6'1". And he could have jumped. Don't ask about body because he had the body. He used to do some amazing things, man. Weeks used to do some Lampy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Lampy.
Lampy used to do some amazing things with a ball on the court. Yes, Theodore Weeks.
So I'm gonna try this idea out because I put it in the chat. You have so much you have so much former players in the chat. It's amazing. And Tyro Alec memory is unbelievable. His memory is. So
That's
I
what I'm
can't
gonna use him.
yeah. So I was thinking, and I would like to do this as a bonus episode. Because Curtis was talking about, I think it was the 1982 team. But I'd like to have like a bonus episode where, you know, a lot of your former players could come on and they could kind of just talk about, you know, how it was during their time and kind of pay homage to each other as well as pay homage to you and pay homage to some of the players then that passed away that they didn't have the opportunity to kind of tell their story. So I would like to do that. I know they're listening, so hopefully they're down to do it. But I'll definitely like to do that and kind of have a Pang. You know, Pang is kind of like the bridge between the old school and the new school because no, honestly, it's true, which is amazing because he you know, like Cheese played for you and like he been around so much basketball and he could remember when Tyrone was playing and stuff like that. Like I don't remember it. I know Akeem don't remember. We wasn't very old enough.
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of have that kind of round table discussion, just paying homage and just talking basketball and some of the memories that's coming back that they point in the chat. So I would like to do a round table bonus episode based on that, So if you up to it, Mr. Lockhart, to come on again to kind of
All right. As long as you remember, you don't gotta do like what you do today, cause I ain't good with these computer and
hey,
I say hello and I say okay bye. And I ain't know about the Comcast and Moncast and Bycast and Mocast and all these other stuff.
No,
I barely know to text hello.
I got you. Hey, I got you. Trust me. You know me. I got you.
But
I know.
If I'm here or up there, I'll be there. I'll be up there. I retired now.
I don't know you like to be Ollie, so I'm gonna be Ollie. So I got you.
I got a question here because to tell you, we was talking about bridge between old and new. Pam, you are talking about a guy. Right now he's a DJ, and I hear you call his name a couple times, and I was like, he used to play basketball too, cause I know him from a little guy. Give me his name. You talk about him.
And I met
Saparelli.
And he do DJ.
He's a big time DJ now. He probably doesn't sing right now, but he used to be in the States. You used to want to talk about him, and you talk about he was an influencer, and you used to play with you and da. You remember?
You talking about Valence?
I tell you, know he. You know what? Valence don't call. We don't call each other. That's how long ago I know Valence, classmate. Because Valence like to figure people, and he used to come up there with Pedo. And you know this. Well, you know how when he was small. I know he from a small guy. He was very disgusting in there. Anyhow, and he used to come up there, running and picking up the ball, kind of crazy in it. So I used to say, man, you annoy me more than some of my classmates. Them something to that effect. And up to now, when he see me, he don't call me classmate, and people say, "You old as he?" And I don't call him my classmate. I didn't know you used to play ball. I didn't know Valence used to play ball.
Yeah, Valence.
Yeah.
Valence.
I know he was a little guy, but I didn't know he used to play ball. I don't know.
He's basketball.
He was good in baseball too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. My son told me that today, that he used to play baseball too. Randy told me he used to play baseball too.
Yeah, he used to play with Chewies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valence. Valence was real good. he was an oil can. Once
Oil
Valens
can.
was like a black hole. Once the ball go to he
That's
ain't
it.
coming out again. That's
That's
it.
true.
Yeah,
That's
he used to
true.
But
grab that ball when he come up in the gym. He used to
I
grab that ball
play
when he come up in the gym. Yeah.
I play in a Suffer Rally League, and I win all the trophies but 2. Right?
Yes.
Rebound and assist. And guess who win assist?
Valence.
Valens, a man who do not
Who don't
pass.
pass.
How is this man winning assist?
Oh.
They rigged that. They rigged that one.
No, but he said in the first statement was he played a league in Safarelli.
Suffer Rally, yes.
What you want?
That's
you
true.
want?
They gotta let the franchise go home or something.
Somebody got to go home. I don't blame that. Somebody go home with something.
Yeah, man. But Valens do anything, man. Valens is a well-known artist in St. Croix and still do anything.
And abroad too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because Valens Judge. Somebody asked, yeah.
I know you as a little guy, man. Wow.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
White class kid.
That's funny, Mr.
So usually our co-host, they usually ask this question here when we come into the end of the show. Being a basketball savant, we're gonna ask for you to name your 5 greatest NBA player, and then name your. We're gonna do for the Virginals. You're gonna do female and male. Your 5 favorite VI players.
All right. Let me make some stipulation here. NBA players. My favorite. You got Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, you got Patrick Ewing, you got Michael Jordan, you got George Gervin, because that was the first professional basketball game I've seen when I was going in the service. I went to a game and I followed him. And I guess it'll be Tim Duncan for the players. And for VI, I'm going to have to tell you for the male, I have to go from my time and before.
That's cool.
Because I don't know what you guys did. But I'm going to go with Zorro first. Tyrone second will be my next guard. Anderson Herbert, Tim Duncan, and Ronald Charles, Rancher.
How about the females?
Females, that might give me some problems. The first one gonna pop in my head would be Piety.
Right.
Stephanie.
Yeah. Before you go, we got share a Piety story.
Huh?
You ever see Piety play ball?
I know, yeah. Piety was.
Well, share a Piety story. Share a Piety story.
Piety could have played, make my team. Piety could have played for me.
Wow.
Yeah, she could have played for me. Piety could have played for me. I'm telling you, she might not be the first one to the second one and the team of the teams then back then. But Piety was a great basketball player, not a good basketball, a great basketball player. And if Piety had, I don't know, if Piety, we never covered that in our discussion. Whether some people don't want to leave the islands, they like to be home. Piety was one of them. She didn't really want to leave from here. Her heart was here, and so I think the Cheney, I forgot the college she went to.
That's it, Cheney. Cheney College.
That was right.
Yeah.
Green walking, coming back, man. She went to Cheney, and she did a lot of good things. But I personally believe Piety could have go farther. But then at that time, the WNBA and all them thing wasn't really anywhere, and overseas mean you had to go away. And I don't think Piety wanted to do that, because I think Stephanie Akoy could have probably go, if they had a WNBA right now, she'd have been a player on that team. That's how good she was. That's it. And she got married to my one of my assistant coaches at that time. I think, and Piety and Shaky could attest to this. I think I was a matchmaker at that time, because I took the 2 of them to St. Thomas. But Hazard, rest in peace, he took a team over there. Piety was on it, and I took a team over there. Shaky was on it now. Shaky, and I don't know, all of a sudden. Anyhow, they got married, and then they got Craig. I think I was instrumental in them getting together as friends.
Who was, in your eyes, who was better, Shaky or Piety?
I honestly think Shaky would have steal the ball from her, but she could have posted him up, and she probably could have shoot much better than him.
She did say she'll take the shooting champ from
Yeah,
Shaky.
she
Yeah,
did say
she
that.
would have given him a game run for his money. Either trying to do some illegal things, but I think she'd have given him a run for his money.
Good. So Paide's your first girl. Who would be the other four that you could
I'm
remember?
gonna go way back though, because some of the most recent one them I gonna miss a few. Mona Barnes, I remember her good. She was a big time player around here. To Mona Barnes, yeah. Maybe I signed the wrong name.
No.
No.
You're right.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. She for Harrogate.
Harrigan, yeah.
Okay, all right then.
Yeah. You're right.
I remember. Okay. I said Paide already.
Yeah.
Jeez, how come I can't remember none of these now? Oh yeah. You gonna go give me a break on this one now?
Okay.
Alan girls like out of
We-
my head.
We have some people in the chat. One said Diane, if I hope I pronounced it right.
Diane Alec. See what I mean? I don't see she all the time. Diane Alec was one of the best for sure. Diane Alec.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then we have a Bianca.
Oh, Bianca. She was a great volleyball player and one of the better basketball. So you go help me out here, Bianca.
And then we have
Felicia.
Felicia James.
Felicia James.
You remember her name too?
Yeah.
Felicia.
Big up to Sunil. Yeah, Felicia
Yes.
James.
Felicia James. Bianca,
Yeah.
see Bianca couple. Yes, man. Bianca for sure, yes. And you had a couple guards too. I had one of them from Christian said, oh my gosh, she was good. Her name, he loses me right now. Yeah. But yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, that's 5 though. That's 5.
Yeah, that is. Well, we always talk about the tremendous talent that produce out of the Virgin Islands, and one of the biggest thing that we want to try to help with is getting these kids some exposure, or getting them more discipline. We have very few coaches that discipline the players, like teach them with discipline. Like you say, I played on a lot of team where we would have practice, and like you said, they would just throw us the ball and how we run up and down the court. I only start learning. Well, I wouldn't say all my coaches, but my JV coach was real good. Mr. Moore, may he rest in peace, because he passed away some years ago. He was a product of the States that moved to the Virgin Islands, so he was very disciplined. That's where I get my running from. But outside of that, I didn't have any coach that would teach me until I got to meet Donald Bow, which is that's my favorite coach, my favorite teacher when it comes to teaching me the game of basketball. Bow is my favorite teacher when it comes to that. And without Bow, one of the person without Bow, I wouldn't make it as far as I did. I would like to thank Tyler as well, the counselor from Central, because he's the one that met me in Kmart, and just a simple question, just a simple question. It wasn't even about basketball. He was like, how you ever want to leave St. Croix? And I said, yeah. Like, how much thought you ever give to college? And I play ball, so I gave a lot of thought to college. And he said, if we could just get you in a college, I am 100% sure you could make a basketball team. That's exactly how we start. And I just did some applications, and I was practicing for my first national team at the time. So after doing the applications, maybe about a week later, I was flying out to Venezuela. And when I came back, I had all these letters. Some was declined, some was in acceptance, but Jacksonville just stood out to me. EWC just stood out to me, and I also I had my brother there, Frenchie. He had left to go EWC, so that's why I selected that. And once I get it, the rest was history. Like, I tried out for the team, and I maybe came off the bench the first 3 games of my career and never came off the bench again.
But like you said, you got a lot of people, and you mentioned the name Donald Bow. You got a lot of people that he's he's tireless worker, and he helped a lot of kids. Donald Bob, I respect him. He played, not played with me. He coached him. He was my coworker, right? Because when I was at Central High, and he's tireless. And then I know there's a lot of kids got to give thanks that Donald Bow is the way he is and the person he is. You got Iceman. Iceman is another one you don't hear much about. But Iceman take a lot of these little kids and work with them. You got one of my former player, Jose. He got some of them small kids and to take them to Florida. You have a lot of guys out there who you don't hear much about, but behind the scene.
Yeah, Lockhart, I think
you gotta be thankful for them.
Bo is an underrated coach in the VI, man. That's somebody who should get way more respect than he deserves. He deserves way more than what he gained. Like that's somebody
played in Superior League too, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
He played for Michigan for a little while, right? Yeah. Did he play for Michigan for a little while?
I think he played Magic. He played Magic last year in Michigan.
Yeah.
He was a freshman when Magic was a senior.
I think he was on the freshman team because if I remember correctly, Butch Lee was on that team with Magic, and then but I think Bow was on they had two teams at the time, if I'm not mistaken. But Bow was at Michigan playing, so he had exposure. He was out there. I don't know how much he played or all of that stuff because at that time I didn't know him like that.
Yeah, Bo was definitely a defensive man. Bo was disciplined. He could shoot. He just knew the game inside out, and he was very tactical. But he's one of the he's probably one of the best individual coach, like personnel, like give you like spunk, give you corazon and put you in the right positions and he just saw the game like no other, So yeah,
I want to commend you guys for what you're doing because a lot of times, just so we talk about certain people, you talked about Mr. Tyler and all, you got people in the community that wants to help, and some of them do help. Some of them can't help, but they want to help. But then you have people in the community who can help and don't help. But you guys are doing a hell of a job, and I've been hearing more and more about this podcast.
Yeah.
Podcast.
yeah.
You're hearing more about this podcast. This is something that if you could get to one or two, let's use one. One of these young guys out here, you guys kind of could relate to you. They can't relate to me, guy, way past that time. But they could relate to you, and it could make them change something that they're doing to get them away from here, or to get them to do something, or to get them to back in the classroom. Like, Pang, I like your story. To get them back in the, well, you didn't go back in the classroom, but I heard a thing about the gym and Pili and the girl making the notes. I heard about that too. I used to hear about you, I used to reach back here. I used to hear, I was jumping on you, but to get him to start saying, well, that's all it takes. No, get in the classroom and do something. And then maybe you never know. We got some talented people in here.
We do.
Simple things that's keeping them back. Simple things.
Right.
You guys are doing a good thing. If you could get one or two of these guys, and they will tell another friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. They always say, it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
And that's what you guys doing here. I really got I'm really proud of what you guys doing. You are young guys that you're taking your time. Nobody ain't giving you $1 million contract to do what you're doing, and you're reaching out and guys like me, I'm on the way through the door. But I'm glad to be able to talk and say something that might inspire someone to want to do better with what they're doing. Because what we're seeing here is not acceptable. What we're seeing here is not acceptable. I'm telling you.
Definitely, and it's sad, man. It's sad, and for us, the three of us, and you, including you, to know what it was, to see what it is, it's a tragedy.
Yeah. And I go say one thing before I go. Akeem, I am so proud of what I've been reading about you. Your mother sent me some information when you're in the paper. This guy is doing a lot big things in Columbus, Georgia. This guy right here. Your mother sent me stuff, and I don't keep it. I got them things that the people write up with Akeem Francis. You're the this, you're the that, and how you move up. I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you.
Thanks.
That's
Thanks.
awesome, man.
Appreciate
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah, man. Big ups
Kudos,
to you,
Mountain.
Akeem. Yeah, big up to you, Mountain.
Yeah. Thanks.
Mountain has been requested, and we will honor Mountain as well. So he's been requested from a lot of people. So we definitely gonna have Mountain in the show again.
Okay.
So, so Raymond, big shout out to your family. A lot of your family is watching a lot. They watching. So I just want to send a big shout out to them as well. For coming out. Supporting the fam. Big up to Randy. I know Randy since I was a little boy. Big up to Rasan. Big up to Kareem for making this happen as well too. You want to give a shout out to any of your family?
Well, we're a very close-knit family. Of course, I know that they're listening. Gwenny, Haj, my sister just came down today from Connecticut, Renita. She's here. I got a sister in Nebraska, Rhonda. I want to reach out to her. We got Reina, which is Karima Rasan, and Vanessa's mother. She's here. Reach out to them. I think I got my son is in Texas, Ray. He's my daughter Risa. She's probably listening to. I reach out to everyone, and you guys have a safe, and I mean the word underline bold print, safe and be safe. Wear your mask.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
mind
That's
that guy in the White House.
Yeah, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, no problem, man.
But Lockhart, but before we get Lockhart going, man, Lockhart, I do want to tell you thank you, man. Thank you for everything that, of course, that you pushed me through. We got to spend time together. My last year in high school, we've been family ever since. But thank you for everything that you taught me. At the end of the day, like it helped me shape to be a better man, not just athletically. And I think it's really important to outline, like in the VI, a lot of times, like the athletes that come out the island, like playing sports is an outlet. We mentioned it already. Like playing sports is our way to to be something, right? And we put a lot on our back to just try to be something sports wise. It's a vehicle, right? But just it is. But just living with you, being around you, make me realize more than just being a basketball player. I wanted to be more. As a man, I wanted to be a great man at the end of the day. I didn't just want to be a great athlete or a great basketball player. I wanted to be a great person in the long run. I get that a lot from you. And I took that from you. Another thing I want to say is like my comparison to you. I don't know if anybody might notice, but you don't remind me a lot of Barack Obama. In my mind, just how you carry yourself, the leadership qualities is the same thing.
Yeah, Mountain. That's a good one. I like that. I like that, Mountain.
That is I am so I am so proud for you to say something like that, because that is a great man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. It take his shorter to get gray hair, but
that's he on top of me. I stopped. He still a play. I don't exercise, but I don't play ball anymore.
My audio gone, man.
He definitely a good comparison.
Laka, before you go, Zoro, he texted me he want me to ask you about Rabashi.
Oh my gosh, that's going way back. That's housing time. Robert was amazing. Robert, now I want to explain to you guys who Robert was. Robert had a disability, but you can't tell him. You wouldn't know that he had one. He had a half of a hand, right? And Robert played basketball, and you ain't want to be on the opposite side guarding him with that one hand, and he was a guard. I had no problem when Robert grew up in the Hurricane court like I did. He was a little boy when I was in there. But when he came on my team, Bashi, they'll call him. Bashi used to hit you with the little knob, lay up with the right hand, you won't know what happened. You're down the ground. You could play defense, no one hand manning or grab, take the ball from you, slip it behind the leg, slip it, and he make a layup by you. Bashi was a competitor, and a lot of men in his shoe wouldn't even try out for basketball, but he not even tried out for basketball. Not only played back, he excelled in basketball. He is an inspiration, and I think he would be an inspiration to a lot of people, because people got 2 limbs on the top, 2 limbs on the bottom, and they can't do half of what he used to do with only 1 limb on the top and the 2 legs.
Oh, there's only one.
I used to sell a mean tattoo.
There was only one hand man I know in St. Croix. Did he become a fireman or?
No, he was a fireman, but he was a fireman.
Okay.
But he ain't a
Then
fireman. He's not a fireman, but no, yeah, he was a fireman.
right.
I know you're
Okay.
talking about in West. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
Okay.
I know. That's Milligan. Yeah.
Okay, but that ain't who you talking about then. That ain't Bashi.
No,
Okay.
this Robert. Robert was Robert last name. I forgot his last name, but they used to call him Bashi.
Okay.
Robert. Yeah, but he was way before you guys, way before you. But he played for Central. Yeah, that was
Gotcha.
old school basketball. Yeah, he was 6'1", 6'2". He lived in California, I think. I saw him a couple of Christmas ago. I saw him, and I was glad to see him. He said he have a son 6'5", something like that, and I think they were trying to hook him up with Usti or whatever, but I don't know what had happened.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know Robert very good.
Is there anyone that you would like to see get interviewed? Any names that you could drop for us?
Nice question. Good question, Pam.
First one, I got about one or two of them. One will be Anderson Herbert. Like I said, Andy played all over the world. He has so much stuff that he'll tell me about and send picture. I mean, I saw. I was stationed in Spain, so I saw Spain. I played a little basketball in Madrid and Zaragoza. As a matter of fact, Randy was born in Spain, and I'm telling out his business now. He ain't like people know that. I passed through England and many other states. I went to Texas but when Andy started telling me the stories and all these places that I only dream about, not dream because I really don't want about a lot of them. Switzerland, Germany, Africa. He has stories. Anderson Herbert has stories, and what he have done, he sends me a lot of pictures with him dunking up on those guys. Because a lot of pros when they get to the older age, they go to the states overseas to play, and some of you guys played overseas. Plays overseas also. You know that they got good caliber ball, and he dominated over there. So Anderson Herbert and Leon Trimmingham, those two.
All right.
Okay.
We definitely gonna get Andy
yeah.
We
Might
definitely will get him on.
And it might be a task to get weapon, but we'll try.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story about Andy. One time I did in the club in Jacksonville, and I know Andy before then. I know Andy from his runs through Central and stuff like that. But one time we did in the club, I did in the club in Jacksonville, and I feel somebody I want to fight the man. I feel somebody put a big hand on the top and just grab my head, my son. No, like, who the hell is this grabbing my head in the club, my son? When I turn around, I look up, it's Andy.
A huge guy.
A huge guy, the biggest dude in the club, my son. So he had some run throughs here in Jacksonville. We got to hang out and so. But Andy's one of the coolest and funniest dude. Mumba could tell you.
Andy, Tyro Alec, and Jaja Richards was my roommates. My first time playing with the VI national team. So you could just imagine, just put it as that. Pang laughing because he know.
He played baseball too. So Genius got tell you things about him. He played baseball here too. He probably could have gone farther. I personally think, because I've seen him, I know he could have made it to the NBA have I given the chance, like a lot of other people. And I also know that he probably could have made it as a pitcher in baseball. I know he could.
Yeah.
So Andy definitely.
All right.
So I echo everything Mountain said about you, because you coach Haywood and you're good friends with G-Nix. G-Nix been my Little League coach and Haywood been my coach, and those two coaches had a big inspiration in my life and have made me the man I am today. The same everything Akeem said about you is the same thing I'm saying about you, because you have that bridge between those two persons, So I just want to commend you for everything, and I appreciate everything you have done, and hopefully we could get this round table on, and hopefully we could have you back on, so some of your former players could help you with your memory as well too, So definitely, shout out to everybody who tuned in to watch. Shout out to all the former players. Shout out to everybody that helped out as far as naming a lot of the different Virgin Island legends and mentioning some of the trips and countries, etc. So we appreciate you guys. So I just wanted to touch on that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for taking your time out to sit down and chop it up with us. we like our platform. We don't come every once in a while. We might write down a question here and there, but it's really to listen to the interviewee tell their story. You know, we don't really come with any program questions or ready-made questions. But we thank you for taking out your time to sit down and talk with us. I am very proud to have seen you at work and know that you have produced a lot of respectful men from out of the Virgin Islands and good players that went on to have gone on to do good things in the community and for themselves. And I am proud to know you, proud to call you. Although you never coached me, I'm proud to call you coach. And we appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story with us today.
Thank you very much for all you guys, and thanks for having me here.
No, thank you, man.
Keep
Thank
up
you.
the good work. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Lot.
All right.
Good night. And to the people